Artis Gilmore, a player the Chicago Bulls feel is the best center in basketball, leads the Bulls against their rivals from the Midwest Division, the Milwaukee Bucks. A club centered around Marques Johnson, an NBA All-Star, former College Player of the Year, who's even better as a professional.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers coast to coast. Light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
They're ready to slow, so let the game begin. And let's see how the ball's going about today. Welcome to NBA. Come enjoy the run of the crowd. There's a night passing about from your way. You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
And welcome to NBA basketball. This is the Mecca, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Chicago Bulls are all set to tip it off against the Milwaukee Bucks. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Crickey with John McLaughlin. John, how do these two clubs match up?
Don, they've had a history of exciting basketball. It goes back a long, long way to the inception of both clubs. Today should be no different. They've met twice this year already. They've split. The Bulls winning in Chicago, the Bucks winning here. They're interesting teams. The Bucks like to run and pressure. The Bulls, on the other hand, they like to set up and go to Gilmore a little bit more.
Got a lot of former College Player of the Years here today. Of course, Marques Johnson, formerly of UCLA, who leads Milwaukee, and Scott May and Kent Benson, formerly of Indiana University, who will be leading the Chicago Bulls. And May is now starting to come back, and this team is starting to get together after a disastrous start.
That's right. They had difficulty. May playing a little bit now after a knee injury, and they have a fine young rookie in Reggie Theus. He's an exciting player. They're going to enjoy watching him today. He can go inside. He can run. He's 6'7". He's quick. The coaches for the Bulls feel he needs to play a little bit more under control, but that will come.
Well, it's a team that likes to break away if they can, although their coach Costello, who, of course, was 9 years the coach here at Milwaukee of the Bucks and led them to an NBA championship in '71, likes to play a controlled game, as John pointed out, likes to go for those patterned offensive plays. He's got the center to work off. There's Costello. He took 5 teams consecutively to the NBA playoffs here at Milwaukee, and you were part of it, John.
I sure was. Larry's a very fine coach. He really masters offensive plays, and of course having Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and as you look at Don Nelson, head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks, coaching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Costello, of course, knows how to use the big man, and now he has another one in Artis Gilmore.
Let's take a look now at those starting lineups as they come out for the center tap. Kent Benson will be going up for Milwaukee against Artis Gilmore. Marques Johnson is up front along with Kevin Rastani. And, of course, the backline players for Milwaukee will be Quinn Buckner and high-scoring Brian Winters. For Chicago, Gilmore at the center. They're going to start Ollie Johnson at forward today, along with John Brown. And the backline will have Charles Dudley and the rookie Reggie Theus. So we're set to go. These teams are 1-1 in previous meetings this year. Chicago won the last time out not too long ago, 124-119. Theus takes the ball in backcourt and starts up floor for Chicago. Winters takes a look at him as Gilmore posts low now, down to the left of the key, working against Benson. A big height disparity there. Gilmore can't get it to go, and Brian Winters comes down, searches the field as he brings the ball up court. This is a guy who can gun it from the deep outside. Goes to Buckner, working off a weave, and Benson looking to take Gilmore away from the basket. Can't go with the jumper, and here comes Chicago. Theus, who can explode to the basket. Into the corner to Brown, gets a free one from 15 feet. First points are up.
John Brown, a smart player, and Chicago starting 2 forwards, Ollie Johnson and John Brown, that really were almost out of a job. Ollie Johnson had cleared waivers. No one wanted him. Chicago picked him up, and he's helped them tremendously.
Marques Johnson goes to the baseline of the court, and this brings the Milwaukee coaches up quickly as Johnson looks like he might have a cramp in his thigh.
But it looked like John Brown switched up then and may have kneed Marques in that thigh area, and he's had some difficulty with the other leg. He pulled a muscle up around the groin, and this seems to be the left leg that he got kneed in. That can be a serious injury.
Johnson coming into the game. Marques Johnson as a first-team Western All-Star in the NBA's upcoming All-Star game at Pontiac, Michigan, averaging just under 26 points a game. He was the 3rd player drafted 2 years ago. Milwaukee picked first, took Kent Benson. Kansas City went for guard Otis Birdsong, and then Milwaukee had another first-round pick and went for Marques Johnson. Here is Quinn Buckner getting a free side, drives to the basket, one-on-one against Theus, gets the bucket to go, and there's a foul on the play.
That's penetration. Buckner does it very well. Quinn's been struggling somewhat this year for the Bucks. He started out with a couple of injuries, got behind condition-wise, but now he's starting to play himself back into the groove. Now the Bucks going into an all-out full-court press here, and you see the Bulls breaking it rather easily.
Dudley, formerly of the Golden State Warriors, directing the offense now. John Mengel out here today for the Chicago Bulls. He's troubled with an injury. Reggie Theus at 6'7", shoot inside.
Going over everybody, even Kent Benson, who's quite a bit taller. Dudley playing now for the Bulls, mainly to give them that consistent leadership that they feel they have not had all year.
It is a 4-3 ball game, Chicago. We're early in the first quarter. Rastani down low gets it up over John Brown. And the Bucks have the lead 5-4.
Rastani very seldom goes in to post up like that. He will normally play outside. He's a good shooter, but that time he was successful in a post up.
Marques Johnson is doubling up. They're fronting Artis Gilmore. But Theus comes up with his second field goal to give Chicago back the lead. It's a 6-5 game. Now Winters, who can throw it. 3-1 from 20, knocks it down. And again, the lead switches at Milwaukee Bucks in the lead 7-6 with 10 minutes to go in the first quarter.
The Bulls can't allow Brian Winters to shoot like that, Don. They're going to have to get out and play him. You see Dudley turning the ball around. But the Bulls coaches have been concerned about coming up and playing Winters on those screens. Now you'll see this turnover by Dudley. He lost control of the ball just for a moment. It must have hit a sweet spot on the floor. Turnover.
Now Rastani on the outside goes to Benson. He's playing away. Loops it down low as the lane is open with Gilmore out of there, but Winters can't get the shot. Here comes Dudley. Chicago back on offense, trailing Milwaukee by a point, 7-6. Gilmore, pump fake in. Rastani working hard, tips the ball over to Benson. Here comes Milwaukee on the run. Quinn Buckner leads it down the middle with Ali Johnson against him. Lane is shut off outside to Rastani. Milwaukee shooting in the first quarter opens up the biggest advantage in the game, slim as it is, 9-6 with 9:15 to play in the quarter.
Gilmore's been setting up on the left side of the floor. Normally he likes to go right. Against the Bucks, he's setting up left. Therefore, the Bucks push him to the baseline and that left-hand hook.
He'll hook it up if he can. Gilmore now. Body check by Kent Benson. Theus fires away. Low percentage shot. Here comes the Milwaukee kid. Benson gets it out to Winters. Milwaukee pushing that ball right down.
They have to. If they don't run, they're really not that effective once they're forced to set up half court.
Right back the other way now. Dudley brings the ball down. Milwaukee does a good job getting back to shut off the break. 5 men back running, set up the defense. Here comes Dudley now with Buckner against him, looping down low to Gilmore. He's called for a shove off against Benson. Personal foul on Gilmore.
Don, you see here where the Bulls bringing Gilmore from weak side to strong side. Now you get to see it. Benson playing the ball side, forcing Gilmore to push off with those big arms. Those arms look kind of like legs, don't they?
Gilmore is a strong man, 7'2", 240 pounds, and $650,000 a year player now.
And a very gentle person, by the way.
Benson off glass. 5-point lead for Milwaukee.
Nice pass by Brian Winters. Now Brian, of course, trying to put the pressure on him, and Dudley advancing the ball nicely for the Bulls.
Marques Johnson clears the defensive board, goes to Buckner. Chicago has 4 men back. Winters goes baseline. Gilmore's there. Inside to Marques Johnson. There's a foul on the play. It'll be a shooting foul.
When Marques Johnson gets the ball that deep, it should be definite 2 points or at least a foul. He's so explosive inside. He jumps very quickly. And the Bulls at this point have to be aware, Don, of getting back on defense. The Bucks really looking to push it.
John Brown got a second personal foul for Chicago. Marques Johnson putting up the free throw.
The Bucks have had some difficulty shooting free throws this year, and Marques in particular, over the last few games, having a little difficulty at the free throw line. Therefore, he's been spending extra time in practice.
And it's now 12-6 game. Milwaukee is in the lead. 7:50 to go in the first quarter. Ali Johnson hands back off to Theus, looking down low as Marques Johnson is doubling up on Gilmore along with Benson. Back to Johnson. Free drive and puts it in on a good bank play. Now 12-8 game Milwaukee Bucks with the basketball.
Team foul situation. You can see Winters wide open again. He won't miss that shot too often. The Bulls with 3 team fouls. The Bucks don't have any.
Dudley sets it up now. Chicago going with a lot of set plays. Theus down low to Gilmore, coming across against Benson. Gets that good percentage shot.
Well, what's happening, Benson is playing on the right shoulder of Gilmore, and you can see it again here. Now, see, he was overplaying Gilmore about half a body, therefore Gilmore turned the other way and in. Wow.
Loop pass, and Marques Johnson tipped it in. You know, John, a lot of times, most of the time, it seems that Gilmore sets himself close to the right of the lane as you look down. Against Milwaukee, stays on the left a lot.
Staying on the left.
Why?
Well, I think as we see a foul here, I think it's because the Bucks defense is geared for him on the right. They're trying to push the Bulls away from Gilmore. Therefore, they've brought Gilmore to the left side so that he has the whole area to roam. He can then come back to the middle and perhaps more of an area to work inside.
A good quarterback does his homework on and off the field. That's probably why the three of us are all drinking light beer from Miller.
See, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
Plus, it tastes great. And you know it's important to have a command of facts like that.
It's mental discipline, really.
You're darn right. Because if you know every position, every option, every formation, you'll never get your signals crossed.
Hey, that's my beer, Terry.
Oh, no, this
yeah,
is... No, wait a
minute.
Wait a minute.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Feel my label.
Can I help you?
Baboon Burger.
Nice car. What is it?
Chevy Chevette, best-selling hatchback in America.
What do you have on it?
AM radio, console, reclining bucket seats, white striped tires. It's all standard on the four-door Chevy Chevette, even the hatchback.
Love it, but I don't need the hatchback.
How come?
I've already got a trunk.
Chevy Chevette. A lot of car for the money.
Your services are no longer required.
I see no future for you.
Over 6 million shavers have said goodbye to their old razors and said hello to Atra, Gillette's best shave. The revolutionary Atra pivoting head gives a face-hugging action that outshaves every razor we've ever made.
Good shave. Sorry, sir.
Atra, Gillette's best shave.
Atra, you're supernatural.
Bango, the Milwaukee Buck mascot. With the Bucks in the lead here in the first quarter, 14-10 at the Mecca in Milwaukee. Don Criqui along with John McLaughlin. Milwaukee came out firing, high percentage, 6 of 10 from the field in the first quarter so far. Chicago shot well, 5 for 9.
Chicago, a good shooting team, and of course, mainly because of Gilmore. He shot over 60% for his entire career. And look, the Bucks, the first NBA team to win 500 games in 11 years.
Won 60 or more 3 straight years. Right. The big guy was here.
He sure made it easy. Just like that play there, Gilmore just got the ball, turned inside, and laid it in.
Speaking of big guys, Gilmore now has 4. It's a 14-12 game. Milwaukee's lead is cut to 2. Kent Benson takes a look. They're clearing out the lane, Milwaukee is, looking for people to cut. They want to bring Gilmore away. They're keeping Benson outside. And Benson puts up a nice shot over Artis Gilmore. A lot of bumping between the two big guys.
Benson has been more aggressive in the last 20 games or so offensively. He has a lot of confidence in his game down low, and as you can see, he can shoot the hook.
Chicago almost throws it away. I don't recall a turnover yet in this game. Soundly played from the floor, maybe one. 6:07 to go, first quarter. Down low they go to Gilmore. Again, he's looking for the stuff shot, and a good foul. Marques Johnson grabbed him by the arm because you know where the ball was going. It was going right through from about a foot over the rim.
On this particular play, Kent Benson goes for the ball. Therefore, the lob comes to him. And Marques Johnson, being the weak side player, had to come from about 15 feet out to give help. And you can see he grabs Gilmore by the arm. George Johnson in the game. George is playing very well. Kevin Rastani out. He was the Bucks' #1 draft pick this past season.
Out of St. John's. Remarkable thing about Gilmore is his longevity. He never misses a game. He's never missed one as a pro. 5 years with Kentucky in the ABA, now 3 years at Chicago, up with the 500 pro game. Never missed one in college.
They say that he came close on their last game. He had the flu, but he decided to play anyway.
Has some trouble getting it down, and Milwaukee's Kent Benson takes the ball. And again, Milwaukee keeping the pressure on the Chicago defense, pushes the ball quickly up court. Winters against Dudley. Dudley's a good defensive player for Chicago. Won't get a lot of points. Buckner with a pushing, running hook shot, and right back to Chicago. Here comes Theus. He's so smooth. Reggie Theus takes it on through.
We see the Bulls running now, and actually the Bulls beat the Bucks in the second period in Chicago by running, not by setting up.
Theus was the 9th player drafted in the first round the last time around. Other than Phil Ford of Kansas City, I don't think there's a better first-year player in the league.
He's scoring more points than any other rookie at this point, although Phil Ford is a great player.
Marques Johnson going hard to the basket now, has 5 points for the Bucks, and they lead by 4, 18-14. 5:10 to play first quarter. Down low, scramble for the basketball. Johnson tipped it, Buckner picked it up, and we're going to have a foul call. That's the third foul on John Brown, called on to start here today. The officials today are Bob Rakel, Jack Nyes, and Jess Kersey.
That's the 4th team foul for the Bulls. On their next foul, they'll put the Bucks in the penalty.
Boy, these officials did some job getting here. Bob Rakel left Cincinnati, driving, picked up the other 2 guys in Indianapolis. They spent 14 hours driving to get here. There's been a tremendous blizzard throughout this area. Got here at 5 o'clock this morning. Here comes Marques Johnson. Watch Gilmore.
Whoa.
Johnson looking to feed off as Benson was trailing on the play. John?
Now, Marques upset with himself. He made a mistake there. He actually passed the ball off. When he heard the whistle, he should have taken the ball on into the basket to be in the act of shooting. Boy, Gilmore showed some quickness there.
I'll tell you. Big guy can motor. Kansas City opening up a 7-point advantage over the New York Knicks in the first quarter. Johnson looking for his 6th point as Artis Gilmore, who picked up the foul, now has 2. We have 5 team fouls right now in Chicago.
Mickey Johnson in the game for the Bulls. He did not start tonight. We really don't know why. I know that they've been a little upset with his play. Mickey's been up and down this year, having some problems being consistent.
Penalty in effect now for Marques Johnson. Hit the first shot. I thought this guy was going to be good as a pro, but he might be the best forward in the league.
Don, he is a great basketball player, and if he had a weakness, it was outside shooting. He's worked on that this summer, and he's shooting very well now.
That's the word around the league. You talk to anybody, Marques Johnson can pop it from the outside. He could always kill you inside.
That's right.
Gilmore arcing up the hook. Oops, a little bumping in there. Marques Johnson pushed Ollie Johnson. The official caught it. Going to have the ball. Ollie Johnson, with Milwaukee still under the limit, going to bring the ball in.
Well, Ollie looked like he was trying to leave the arena on that particular play.
That was Marques Johnson's 2nd foul. Holland has come into the game now for the Chicago Bulls. Wilbur Holland is in the backcourt.
Holland can shoot the ball. Of course, he'll have to give the Bulls that outside shot with Mengelt. Not here today because of an injury.
Mengelt banged up a knee against Atlanta the other night. Here is a shot by Mickey Johnson, who comes to get on. Johnson playing basketball.
Mickey Johnson can shoot. He's a good basketball player. He's had some great games in the past against the Bucks.
Benson playing aggressively against Artis Gilmore. Can't get the hook to go this time, but his former Indiana teammate Quinn Buckner gets the loose ball. Can't get it to go. Here comes Wilbur Holland. Theus fills the right flank. The lead goes to Mickey Johnson. And George Johnson, very smooth, glides in, takes the defensive board.
Oh, that's a big foul right there.
Nicely done by Quinn Buckner.
That's right. Buckner going over in front of Gilmore, and that's the 3rd personal. As you see it again, you'll see Buckner go over in front of Gilmore. Gilmore trying to get out of the way. This is a backcourt foul, plus it's the 3rd foul, personal foul on Artis Gilmore.
Quinn Buckner has 3 shots.
So Quinn Buckner goes to the free throw line for Milwaukee. Artis Gilmore with 3 personal fouls here in the first quarter. Chicago's been over the limit. Quinn Buckner with 3 chances to make 2, fouled in the backcourt. Marques Johnson leads all scorers with 7 for Milwaukee. Reggie Theus has 6 for the Bulls, and Quinn Buckner now shooting for his 5th point.
Have a lane violation on the Bulls here. Buckner gets the ball back. Another shot. Turnovers, Don, we talked about that briefly. Milwaukee with no turnovers and the Bulls with 5. And this is a problem as you look at Scott Lloyd coming in the game. Gilmore going out with 3 personal fouls. The Bulls have had a lot of turnovers this year. And for a team that really does not run, they shouldn't have as many turnovers as they've been having.
Buckner still with a third chance now. The lane violation is against Chicago. Wayne Buckner gets the points up. Ernie Grunfeld now in the game for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's 22-16. Milwaukee is in the lead. Wilbur Holland coming down on the fly. Fires it out. And Theus with a long shot. Rebound offensively by Ollie Johnson. Excellent basketball.
Oh, that was a nice rebound. The Bucks must be aware of blocking Ollie off the boards as well as Mickey Johnson. They both go to the offensive boards very well.
Ollie Johnson now has 4. Rebound down to Holland. Outlet man is Theus against Buckner. Reggie Theus starting to take it inside. We're going to have a charge called against Theus. Ball turns over to Milwaukee.
Beautiful effort by Quinn Buckner. He's absolutely a great defensive player. Now watch him get back on Theus, who is a quick player. He establishes position. Theus starts to turn back into him. Charge.
Now Van Leer is in the game for Milwaukee against his former teammates.
Norman loves to play against the Bulls. He had a very good game here the first time against the Bulls. The second game in Chicago, he got into foul trouble early.
George Johnson trying to do it on his own. Can't get it to go for Milwaukee. And Theus brings it up. Here's Mickey Johnson. 22-18. Chicago trailing by 4. Larry Costello and the Chicago Bulls want to counsel. So they've called a timeout with 2:44 left to play in the first quarter here at the Mecca in Milwaukee. Milwaukee in the lead, 22-18.
We are super critical on that line. We'll knock down engines for a bad paint job, and that's no jive, man. Quality control is the most important aspect of the whole business.
James Rock, Quality Control Inspector. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
If the customer has problems with that car, then we got problems because he's not going to be a General Motors customer again. We have 9 inspection stations. I go around to critical points on the line to ensure that they're doing the job right. I run hot tests. You can listen to that engine and you can say, well, this one's a good one or this one's a bad one. It's a good feeling. It's a little feeling of power. There's nobody going to overrule you. But we want to ensure that by the time that it's shipped to the assembly divisions, that engine does function in the way that it's designed to function. I feel personally responsible for that car. I know it's a good car. I know we build it and we build it right.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
When people are out there looking for insurance, they're looking for a good, solid company they know is going to be around tomorrow. And they find that in State Farm. But they also have the State Farm agent who is going to be there in a very personal way, person-to-person contact, taking care of their individual needs. Whether it's life, home, health, or car, we're there.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Larry Costello, whose winning percentage as an NBA coach is one of the best all time. Diagramming plays. He'll do that in the timeouts, won't he, John?
He's made the legal pad famous. I think he was the first coach to use it, but it's very effective. He always diagrams a play at a timeout. Therefore, the players on the floor should know what they're doing.
Wilbur Holland pulling up. Bucks hitting that defensive board hard. Saved nicely by Junior. Bridgman gets it in Johnson. Here comes Van Leer. Norm Van Leer with Holland backing off, and Van Leer is going to shoot that gap anytime it's open, go right to the basket. George Johnson on the outside. George Johnson called by his college coach Luke Carnesecca, one of the smartest players he's ever coached. Down low, there's some hacking and some fighting, and Mickey Johnson's called for a personal foul.
Now, the Bucks trying to get inside quite a bit. They're getting a lot of off-ball movement. You'll see George Johnson here shoot into the lane area. Actually, the defensive player should not allow this. You should try to keep him away from the ball, but the foul was called.
Milwaukee has had a big advantage of the free throw line. Bucks have hit 6 of 8 so far, with Johnson shooting for them now. Chicago's 0 for 2.
The Bulls still with only 3 team, or the Bucks still with only 3 team fouls.
They've been under the limit the whole quarter. 2:15 to play in the first quarter, and Milwaukee is in the lead, 22-18. Bucks starting to put a little pressure on in the backcourt now, making the Bulls use that 24-second shot clock up, heating them as they try to bring the ball to the 10-second line. Rachel gives a call. It's going to go against George Johnson.
George up a little late on that, Donnie. The Bucks constantly trying to play the passing lanes whenever they can to try to make the Bulls start their offense out as far as possible.
Scott Lloyd going hard, puts it up, and Benson rejects the shot. Here comes Van Leer, out left to Bridgman, driving on Theus, and Junior Bridgman with good control goes up, plays the ball in. A former Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year at Louisville. Junior Bridgman, good basketball player, gives the Bucks their biggest advantage, 25-18. Mickey Johnson outside as they triple up on the ball. Theus is left free, goes to the basket, the ball for travel.
With Gilmore out of the game, Don, Chicago having to adjust their offense, and they're pulling Scott Lloyd out more. They won't use him in a deep post-up position as much as they will Gilmore. Therefore, they're going to have to go to other people like Mickey Johnson, Reggie Theus to score.
John, what about Kent Benson now? He's had a slow start in the NBA. He looks a lot better here today.
He had physical problems last year. He's really been playing very well this year for the Bucks. You see a double screen by the Bucks. Junior Bridgman coming off, and Benson getting it back. Junior Bridgman getting it back.
3 chances, 4 chances for Milwaukee. Grunfeld can't get it down, and finally Chicago gets it in. The Buck bench is up and cheering with good reason. Boy, you hit that offensive board, you're going to win.
Boy, that offensive board so very valuable. As you see it again, the Bucks fighting and fighting. Benson coming up with it. Then Junior Bridgman for a guard. He can really leap. He comes in, he gets it, he puts it up. They can't put it down. George Johnson, everybody.
Toughest commodity in the game, offensive rebounds.
It is, and it's a very valuable part of the game.
Mickey Johnson. And we have another whistle inside. Looks like it's going to go against George Johnson of Milwaukee with 48 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Now, the Bulls that time, they came back with a play the Bucks used quite a bit, and they ran it for Mickey Johnson, a double screen, and on an offside. Most clubs will run that to the other side so the offensive player can come to his right shooting. And here you see Mickey Johnson getting it and just going one-on-one. He's a good one-on-one player.
Now we got a pair yet. 2 coming. On the release now, 1 time.
25-19 game. Chicago down by 6 late in the first quarter. Mickey Johnson gets it again as Ginelli in the game for Milwaukee goes to Van Leer. Milwaukee's been running right on the inbounds play. Grunfeld is getting more playing time and more points for Milwaukee. Playing a hard physical game, bumping out the outside. Grunfeld, former Tennessee player, gets it. Can't get it to go. And we have a lot of whistles now starting to come into this game, John.
Yes, we have a loose ball foul on Junior Bridgman. Bridgman going to the offensive board. And as I mentioned briefly a moment ago, for a guard, he goes inside. He's been helping the Bucks a lot on the offensive board. But if you push people over to get there, you can't do that.
Not if they're looking.
The officials, and anymore with 3, it's hard to catch them when they aren't looking.
It's tightened up the game, and really there hasn't been that many more fouls, I think, percentage-wise. It's just about the same as it was with 2.
Well, the players are adjusting as you get a good look at Reggie Theus. Mark Landsberger in the game for the Bulls. For Ollie Johnson, Landsberger a good rebounder, and in particular a very good offensive rebounder.
Landsberger in the game along with Scott Lloyd. He's in for the big guy, Artis Gilmore, who has 3 personals in the first quarter. Mickey Johnson, Wilbur Holland, Reggie Theus in the game for Chicago. Van Leer and Bridgman playing catch in the backcourt. Here's Ginelli out high again. Grunfeld working down low along with George Johnson. An offensive call against Junior Bridgman sends the ball back over to Chicago. Second personal foul on Junior Bridgman. 25-21 game. Chicago. Field goal here and come to within 2. Larry Costello up, shouting to play for 1 as the first quarter winds down. 10 seconds to go in it. Mickey Johnson with 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Wilbur Holland gets it up, gets it to go. So Chicago down by 7 with 1.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Rallies back. And now trails Milwaukee after the first 12 minutes of play. It is a 25-23 game, and we'll be back in a moment.
I may have a bar in my office, but Lawson has a Sony.
Darn. I thought they were going to give me a Sony.
Most people feel very special about Sony Trinitron Color TVs, probably because Sony Trinitron Color TVs are very special. You see, it's not just a TV, it's a Sony.
Dad, I have a date coming over tonight. Can I borrow the Sony?
Gee, Mr. Goodwrench, I don't know. It's going ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump.
Ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump.
Yeah.
Mr. Goodwrench understands your GM car. He has special GM training and GM equipment available to help him analyze your car and diagnose the problem.
No more thump. Thanks.
Keep that great GM feeling
Mr. Goodwrench?
with genuine GM parts.
I understand.
Look inside, Winters. Inside.
I'm Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks. We've been working hard all season. But for 30 years, the American Heart Association has been working even harder, supporting research that has brought us open heart surgery, artificial pacemakers, and drugs to control high blood pressure. They're working hard to make miracles of science happen. But research needs support. Your support.
This message for the American Heart Association was presented as a public service by the National Basketball Association.
At the outset of the second period in Atlanta, the Hawks are leading Houston 29-18. Here in Milwaukee, Don Criqui with John McLaughlin. We're ready for the start of the second period. The Milwaukee Bucks with a 2-point advantage over Chicago. Milwaukee puts the ball in bounds. Junior Bridgman, 6'5", working in the backcourt with Van Leer. Here's Marques Johnson back in the game. Ginelli in the pivot, giving Benson a rest. Marques Johnson comes right out popping. He hits now for 9 points in the game, and it's a 27-23 game Bucks. Gilbert Holland called for a charge as Van Leer, who's taking a lot of hits and drawing a lot of fouls, does it again.
Oh, you ought to see Van Leer's elbows and knees, and that's why right there. Scars all over them.
He really does. Look at him.
Oh, it's amazing. He did it before it was popular to do it. He and Sloan were the only two.
Scott Lloyd works hard, moves people out, takes down the defensive board. Here's Mickey Johnson. Theus is always looking at that basket. He can really move to it if there's any opening. Wilbur Holland finds himself free, puts up a shot. Marques Johnson clears for Milwaukee. Holland, with good hands, comes up with the ball, and up court he goes to Theus. Larry Costello tells him to set it up. Actually, Kaz is calling some plays right from the bench.
He calls a lot of plays, and of course, when you don't have a fast break, he feels, hey, let's call a play and run something that everyone knows what's going on.
Holland having some trouble finding the range, but good work inside by Mickey Johnson off the offensive board, following it up. And again, it's a 2-point game, Milwaukee.
That's an example of having to block a Mickey Johnson away. He goes to the offensive boards very well.
Grunfeld waiting for something to happen underneath. Bridgman working back and forth across the lane. Right back out to Grunfeld. Eyes it, takes aim, and unloads.
Bucks going to option 2 on that play. They wanted to run a lob for Junior Bridgman, but Scott Lloyd bumped him as he went through, so Bridgman came around to post up and, of course, passed it back out. Grunfeld open.
Mickey Johnson goes down low. Here's Landsberger. Fading away, puts up a tough shot to make. Fadeaway jump shot, rebound Ginelli, and here comes Van Leer. Milwaukee pushing the ball down the court. Chicago getting back quickly on defense. Milwaukee centers playing away from the basket. Drops the half here, even with Gilmore on the bench with 3 fouls. And now the field goal gives Milwaukee a 31-25 lead. Marques Johnson with 11 points. Larry Costello again wants a timeout to talk this over. 31-25, Milwaukee Bucks in the lead, led by Johnson.
We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
You sure are getting behind Chevy's new midsize Malibu, America. And why not? It's got the right mileage estimates, the right size, the right feel, the right look, and the right room. And for a lot of folks, it's got the right name, too. Chevy Malibu. The 79 Chevy Malibu could be just right for you.
A freshly sliced apple pie on Chevy Malibu.
It's so wonderful to make a child's dream come true. It's a moment of love, a joyous sensation. Come on and have a Pepsi day. Come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on and have a Pepsi day.
Owens Corning built this glass house so you can see all the places insulation can save money, new home or old. Your attic. In severe climates, you may need insulating power up to R38, a foot of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Another place to insulate. Floors over unheated garages or crawl spaces, and walls exposed to cold or heat. Put your house in the pink. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
Marques Johnson has had his usual all-star performance for the Bucks so far in this game. He shot 5 times, has made 3 of 4 free throws, 11 points, a couple of rebounds. He's assisted on the basket. And the Milwaukee Bucks have a 31-25 lead with 9:47 to play in the first half.
The Bucks having some problems at the end of that first quarter with shooting, and they dropped from in the 60% area down to 36%. The Bulls hanging right around the 50% mark, and we see the foul now go the other way. Van Leer trying to draw the charge once again on Holland, but the official goes the other way. It was blocking.
Van Leer getting his first personal foul. Mickey Johnson looking for something to happen, not looking down low. Landsberger sets a pick, lets out a mo when somebody bangs into him. Ball comes back inbounds to the Bulls now.
Landsberger trying to work inside, which is where he's very good, but in particular now because with Grunfeld on him, he has a height advantage.
Reggie Theus, and here's Mickey Johnson. Defense is dropping off. Milwaukee wants to cordon off that lane. Don't let anybody get inside. There's going to be some free shots for Chicago.
Well, that's good to not allow penetration, but you can't let a guy like Mickey Johnson have an open shot.
Marques Johnson up and through and draws the foul. He's only great. Marques Johnson goes to the free throw line. He now has 13 points, shooting for 14. Watch him.
You see here, no one made contact with Marques Johnson to keep him away from the board. If you don't do that, he's going to get inside on you. And if he gets the ball that deep, as I said earlier, something's going to happen.
Marques Johnson at the line. One shot.
We have one team foul on each club here in the second period. Ollie Johnson coming back in the game now for Chicago. And Chicago again with the 7-point deficit. Here is Mickey Johnson looking down low to Reggie Theus. Rejected by Lloyd. Taken away by Van Leer. Now without some considerable difficulty. Now they start to get rough, going hard to the basket. We have an offensive foul signaled against the Milwaukee Bucks. Bastani comes back in the game, and Norm Van Leer.
Look, the penetration by Van Leer. Scott Lloyd, the big guy over there to draw the foul. You know, big guys taking the charge today as good as some of the guards. And, of course, a little acting doesn't hurt, but he draws the foul nicely.
Van Leer with 2 fouls. Dudley back in the game for Chicago. Looks for Holland coming out behind a pick set by Ollie Johnson. Mickey Johnson down low. Milwaukee, a good trapping team. They'll double up on the ball. Trap in the corners. Mickey Johnson breaks free and gets the bucket.
That's called staying with it, Don. Mickey came over to post up. Really probably should have given the ball up earlier, but by staying with it, got the 2.
Mickey's doing some good things. He has 10 now for Chicago. Scott Lloyd with the rebound. Here comes Dudley. Mickey Johnson looking for more. He's been filling up. Can't that got to go. And Ginelli with the defensive board for Milwaukee. Outlet goes to Winters. Marques Johnson cut off at the baseline. Good defense by Ollie Johnson. Then the steal by Wilbur Holland. We have a backcourt foul signaled against Milwaukee as they try to get the ball back from Holland, John.
Well, Holland did a nice job of double-teaming Marques Johnson, and the Bulls are obviously aware of Marques in particular and Brian Winters. They want to give double-team help whenever possible. They haven't done it much today so far, but that time they did, and it paid off. Buckner in, Van Leer out. Oh, I think we have a technical on Norman.
He's been coming close.
Yes. Well, that hurts. It gives up a potential 1. But the old pocketbook, there goes $75. Goodbye.
Van Leer's had a constant dialogue going on with Bob Rakel. The lead official, Ollie Johnson, with 5 points. Wilbur Holland at the free throw line.
It's not Stormin' Norman nickname for no reason, Don.
He's helped Chicago, though. Helped Milwaukee.
The Bucks.
Sure,
Yes, he has. Right.
Probably had his greatest season in '73 at Chicago. Tremendous player, one of the best backcourt players in the league. And as you pointed out, he loves to go against Chicago.
First personal serve king. Ollie Johnson. 2 shots.
Ollie Johnson is back at the free throw line now to shoot 2 shots for the Chicago Bulls. 7:42 left to play first half. Bucks 34, Chicago 30. Twice, Milwaukee is led by as many as 7. Chicago keeps inching back into the game.
You know, Ollie Johnson is an example of a player that if he plays with his head, he can get a job. He's a good fine ball player. He did clear waivers, but he's a smart player. So is John Brown. So is Kevin Rastani. Some players don't have great ability, but if they use their head, they can make up for that.
Use their head, work a little bit harder. They can make a big contribution. It is now a 3-point game, Milwaukee. Marques Johnson forcing a shot. Scott Lloyd comes in hard. He pushed Rastani as he did. There'll be a foul call on Lloyd.
Scotty a little upset with that. Lloyd is a very physical player. Now, you'll see the shot by Marques. You see Rastani go up, and Lloyd and Rastani having contact, and I don't know that was a foul on Lloyd.
Well, the men said it was, so down it goes in the book. And it's 34-31. Chicago now the chance to come to within 1. Trailing by 3. Dudley to Nicky Johnson. They set up a side now. Scott Lloyd picking down low. Marques Johnson playing a lot of defense. He's playing his man. He's also playing the opposing center along with Gianelli. Quinn Buckner fighting his way to the basket. Oh, Marques Johnson, the grand slammer, rams one down.
Well, that's the value of penetration. Buckner getting the ball off the court. He misses, and the follow-up by Marques Johnson. Slam jam.
Been the Marques Johnson show. He has 16 here in the first half. And Milwaukee has a 5-point lead. Milwaukee shooting 9 for 11 in the second quarter. And the Bucks bring it down quickly. Buckner leads to Rastani. Blocking foul on Dudley.
Dudley really upset, Don, and I think that was an obvious charge. And we'll get a chance to look at it. Judge for yourself. Rastani coming in on the lane. Look at Dudley. I think he was there. The official obviously felt he moved in to Rastani's path at the last moment.
I don't think there's any question he did. Right now, we're going to have timeout, John. We have 6:35 left to play in the first half. The Bucks in the lead, 36-31.
The secret to getting ahead in business is staying cool, because somebody's always trying to pass you up, especially if you're renting a car. You see, I can walk through airports. I have an Avis Wizard number. Cool.
Oh, Mr. Bell, that mid-sized car you reserved, we just rented the last one.
What?
So we're giving you a Buick LeSabre at the same rate.
What?
Well, that's the Avis policy.
What a wonderful thing to do.
Avis now features GM cars.
Avis, we don't know another way.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
See that, men? You can trust AC spark plugs. And remember AC filters to help protect your engine from dirt and dust. Right, Ben? Ben? Hit!
Drive through dirt and dust. Good filters are a must. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Filters by AC. Plugs and filters by AC.
In business, the more efficiently you use your time, the more money you make.
Time is money.
So if you're spending hours dictating letters to far-off places, and hours are spent typing them,
I've got other work to do.
Kick the letter habit. Pick up your phone and give them a ring. The phone turns your time into money.
.6:35 left to play in the first half here at Milwaukee. At Boston, the Celtics, who've had a couple of good games now, with the 11-point advantage over the New Jersey Nets. The Celtics back on the home floor. Philadelphia and Portland locked up 26-all in the second period. And here at the Mecca in Milwaukee, it is the Bucks 36, the Chicago Bulls 31. Chicago with some tough scheduling coming up. They're back at Chicago Stadium 3 times this week. Tuesday night, Philadelphia. Friday night, Washington. Saturday night, Seattle.
Winning late, man. What?
The team foul situation, Don. 3 for the Bucks, 3 for the Bulls.
John, what do you think the effect of Buck Robinson going to the Phoenix Suns is going to be?
Hey, I think it's going to make the Phoenix Suns a very good basketball team, and they're already a good team.
Gave up a lot, but they got a lot of basketball player. Here comes Dudley with the steal. Buckner, a former All-American football player, back defending. He's ahead of the pack now. Marques Johnson free on one side. Buckner pulls up and takes it. Ooh, he had a free man. Did not go to him. Landsberger rebounds. Rejected by Buckner. Feeds to Winters. Quinn Buckner with a big assist.
Wow. Here you'll see Buckner. He deflects the ball again to Winters. He lays it in. But there were a number of excellent defensive plays by both clubs on that exchange.
Bill Barnes of CBS, our producer here today. John McDonough, our director, as Wilbur Holland pops from the outside, and it makes it a 38-33 game. Milwaukee is in the lead still by 5. The Bucks with extraordinary percentage shooting throughout the second period, holding to a 7-point lead now. Chicago comes right back. Again, Chicago sets the play. Winters working on Dudley, a one-on-one as they clear a side. Down low, good pass. Wilbur Holland putting it up. Basket goes. But we have a violation prior to the shot. 3 seconds.
On that particular play, Don, Holland just shot into the lane area, and Buckner did not go with him. I don't know if he didn't see him go or if the Bucks are trying to keep Buckner out on top. But he got 3 seconds.
Marques Johnson with 16 points here in the first. He's working one-on-one with Allie Johnson. Ryan Winters loses the ball, gets it back. Feeds to Ginelli. Puts it up from way out, gets the roll.
The Bucks that time just spread out trying to expose the zone. It didn't work. They had to go one-on-one, got the jump shot.
Milwaukee now with its biggest lead, a 9-point advantage, 4:40 to play in the first half. You see the Grand Prix Masters tournament from Madison Square Garden, a $400,000 tennis tournament coming up next following NBA basketball. Wilbur Holland with 6 points now for Chicago. Brings the Bulls back to within 7. Rastani coming outside. Milwaukee with big men popping from the outside and hitting. Again extends its lead to 9 points.
Defensively, the Bulls try to play fairly honest. They try to give help on Marques and Winters, but other than that, they want to push to the sides and play everyone head up.
Arthur Ashe and 19-year-old John McEnroe will be meeting for that top prize, the $100,000 first prize. Landsberger going to the basket. Rebound comes down to Lloyd. Foul call on Milwaukee. A couple of substitutes come in for the Bucks now. Don Nelson sends in Junior Bridgman and rookie George Johnson.
Here you'll see it again. You'll see Landsberger go inside, and Lloyd left wide open for the offensive rebound because Gianelli left Lloyd to come over and help out Kevin Rastani. Didn't work.
Don Nelson, now in his 3rd season as head coach of the Bucks, 14 years an NBA player, 11 seasons at Boston. 5 NBA championship rings that young man has.
He has a number of them. And he's really a smart coach. As you see Reggie Theus come back in the game, Holland go out. John Killalay, of course, spent a number of years coaching the Boston Celtics as an assistant there, and he and Don Nelson.
Super sleuth.
Yes, that's right.
Super sleuth. He was their scout.
He does a super job scouting.
We now have a 7-point lead for Milwaukee. Bucks with the basketball. Here's Brian Winters. Theus back in the game for Chicago against him. Marques Johnson give and go. Basic basketball, but it's tipped away. As Winters cuts to the basket, it'll be back inbounds to Milwaukee.
Reggie Theus, a good defensive player. He has to learn the NBA style, and he has to learn some players. But that time, he played the passing lane very nice.
John, Coach Killalay, Coach Nelson. Inbounds to Marques Johnson. He's going to go up. Go up the knuckleball. No motion on the ball. Here comes Charles Dudley up court for Chicago. Feeds in the left flank. Reggie Theus going hard to the basket. There's a whistle on the play. A foul call against Milwaukee.
Well, Reggie Theus can certainly get out as you look at John Killalay again, the assistant coach for the Bucks. Reggie Theus gets out into that lane very nicely. He's quick. And the Bulls are actually wanting to run quite a bit more now that Gilmore has been out of the game.
Nelson sending Kent Benson back into the basketball game. Reggie Theus hits the free throw for Chicago. It's 44-38. 3:37 left to play in the first half. Benson, who played a very sound game. Ginelli Spellingham is back in now for Milwaukee. The Bucks going with Brian Winters, George Johnson, Marques Johnson, Junior Bridgman, and Benson. Chicago with Charles Dudley, Ollie Johnson, Reggie Theus at the free throw line, Mark Landsberger, and Scott Lloyd. Artis Gilmore's not played in the second period. He went out in the first period with 3 personal fouls.
44.
Chicago pressing the ball now. Brian Winters breaks it with a left-hand dribble. The former South Carolina All-American feeds it off, and sweeping off the right flank and into the basket and down over it is Marques Johnson now with 18 points and a 46-39 lead for Milwaukee. At halftime, you'll be meeting Dave Cowens in an off-the-court interview. Some of his thoughts on motivation. How does he get players to be motivated as a player coach of the Boston Celtics? Right now, it is a 46-41 game. Landsberger getting his first points of the game for Chicago, as we're inside 3 minutes in the first half.
That's Landsberger's game. He's a good offensive rebounder. We've talked about that. The Bucks must block him away.
But his rebounding recently, for the amount of minutes he's played, has been as good as anybody in the league.
Yes, it is. He's averaging almost 9 rebounds a game.
Clear, MJ, clear. Corner.
48-41, Milwaukee. Ball tipped away by Marques Johnson. Theus and Johnson going to the ball along with Junior Bridgman, ruled inbounds to Chicago. People going after loose basketballs. They say there's some guys around. Next one they go after will be their first one. Not Marques and Ollie.
That's right.
We'll be back in a moment at the Mecca in Milwaukee.
Okay, look, you want a video cassette recorder, right? Right. And you know that RCA sells Selectavision, their 4-hour video cassette recorder. That's the one I want. What are you waiting for? What if we threw in a free cassette?
Well,
okay, 2. 2? Okay, double it.
4 cassettes?
14 hours of blank tape worth almost $100 free if you buy now. What do you say?
I would have bought it at 2.
Selectavision's almost $100 tape giveaway. We don't know when to quit.
I would have bought it at 1.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
Mr. Carlin, your briefcase.
We are people-pleasing places.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with the best standards.
Everything all right, sir?
Everything's just fine.
People-pleasing standards to help make your trip successful.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world,
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
Chevy Truck's massive girder beam suspension system. Built tough to ride smooth. The heart is a massive girder beam with steel control arms that flex up and down, allowing wheels to step up and down independently over bumps and ruts to help smooth the ride. Chevy Truck's massive girder beam suspension. Built to take it year after year. It's the stuff tough trucks are made of. Chevy Trucks. Built to stay tough.
Next Saturday on the new look CBS Sports Spectaculars, you'll see Minnesota Fats with his pool Q taking on some of the best money players in a shootout at Las Vegas. Hollywood stunt competition and highlights of the bout between Tom Hearn, the 6th-ranked world welterweight, and Clyde Gray, who has a record of 72-5. About held January 11. There'll be the highlights of that next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. That's what we have here at Milwaukee. The Bucks with now a 5-point lead. As Dudley drills it from the outside, his first points, it's 48-43. This is Don Crickey with John McLaughlin. The 5-point advantage for Milwaukee. The Bucks keyed by the great play of Marques Johnson with 18 first-half points.
Offensive foul.
Charlie Dudley. He's a fine defensive player. Here you see Brian Winters going one-on-one. Dudley will get up in front of him. I don't know. The officials say that is the most difficult call in basketball to make. Is it a charge or is it a block?
Well, that time it goes to Chicago, and here is Reggie Theus taking a look, pulling up, and firing. Didn't get it. Throw up the air ball, and Kent Benson has improved markedly this year. Goes off to Winters, and Brian Winters, good ball control, finds the lane open. He's got 8.
Beautiful move here. Brian kind of pulls up for a minute, goes right to the basket. When you've got an outside shot like Brian Winters, and then you put that with going to the basket, you've got a complete game.
They thought Winters coming out of South Carolina might be a little slow, a step slow. That has not been the case. He was a first-round draft choice in 1974 by the Los Angeles Lakers and came to Milwaukee, as you recall, as part of the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trade. Junior Bridgman coming here also. Dave Myers no longer with the team this season because of the bad back. Very integral part of the Milwaukee Bucks playoff team last year. It's very unlikely, I guess, John, he'll play again this season.
It's very questionable, but I would say probably not. Now this time it's a blocking foul. Scott Lloyd trying to take the charge, but Grunfeld has tremendous body control in that lane area. And here he jumped a little sideways. From that angle, it looked like it probably could have been charging. But again, the officials get a lot of these calls. They must make a decision immediately.
Both teams over the limit here in the second period. 1:13 to play in the first half. Ernie Grunfeld, part of the Ernie and Bernie show at Tennessee. Ernie Grunfeld and Bernard King.
I guess that was something to see. I never saw them play, Don. I don't know if you had the opportunity, but they could fill it up.
They averaged 50 between them the last couple of years.
Fouls on Junior Bridgman. Third personal.
Bridgman is called for the foul for Milwaukee. At both teams over the limit, Charles Dudley, a hard-working backcourt player, made a big contribution at Golden State. Goes to the free throw line. Somebody put the lid on here now as they're having some trouble getting him to go down with 1:03 to play in the first half. Milwaukee shooting only 53% from the free throw line. Chicago only 9 of 18. They could be right in this game if they were hitting their free throws. Benson gets a free one. Line drive jumper on the bank.
The Bulls bench, Don, I think we must talk about them for a moment. They've done a super job in this game. Gilmore's been out almost the entire half, and the Bulls have stayed right within striking distance of really overtaking the Bucks at times.
They have Gilmore hasn't played since late in the first period. As we're now inside a minute to go in the first half. This foul's going to go against Chicago as Dudley comes around and starts to go to the basket. Dudley is called for his second personal foul, and impassive Artis Gilmore looking on from the bench. 9-point advantage for Milwaukee. They led by 9 earlier. They can go to their biggest lead. If Bridgman hits this shot, it's an 11-point lead for the Milwaukee Bucks with 23 seconds to play in the first half. You recall at the end of the first quarter, Milwaukee's lead, which was 7, had been cut to 2 by Chicago on a last-second basket by Wilbur Holland. But now, Milwaukee's extended lead to 11 points, 54-43, as we're drawing down to the buzzer that'll end the first half. Wilbur Holland with a height disadvantage, going against George Johnson, drives by him. No basket. Rachel calls a charge.
Oh, boy, Kent Benson came over to help out on that. Had he not been there, would have been an easy 2, and it went down anyway. Holland showing not only can he shoot the outside jump shot, but he can penetrate. But this time it went the other way.
You're smiling and all the while your heart just pounds away. The training builds an end zone of this fateful day. It's the Pepsi generation face to face at a frog jumping race. Come on, come on, come on and have a Pepsi day. Come on, come on, come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on and have a Pepsi day.
Watch this smelly onion show how Scope and the leading antiseptic both fight bad breath, but how Scope does it with a difference.
Put 1/2 of the onion in the Scope. Smell the 1/2 of the onion in the Scope.
Cool, fresh, minty.
Now I want you to smell the other half in your mouthwash.
Has a medicinal smell. It really shocks me, the difference in those.
Which way would you want your breath to smell?
Like Scope.
It's pleasant.
It smells right.
Scope fights bad breath. Scope doesn't give medicine breath.
Outward Bound, Rota, Spain. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
The first thing you notice about the big shaver
is that the handle is hollow, practically worthless. Bic put the money into their top-quality bonded stainless steel blade. That's why Bic can charge only 19 3/4 cents a shaver. And each one gives you days and days of close, comfortable shaves. The Bic shaver, hollow handle, superior blade, incredible price.
Basketball is everyone's game. Short folks, tall folks, girl folks, boy folks, young folks, all folks. Basketball is everyone's game. Basketball, it's your game.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. Cold Milwaukee, where the score of the Chicago Bulls 43, the Milwaukee Bucks 54. Don, I understand you were in Boston recently talking to Dave Cowens.
Talk to the Big Redhead is now the player coach, and I think it's kind of interesting how the guy looks at basketball.
Well, let's go to the interview and see what he had to say.
It came as a major surprise to just about everyone in basketball and everybody who follows the game when Dave Cowens accepted the job as player coach of the Boston Celtics. Dave, you started out in a hole. The team was 2-12 when you took over. You're about the halfway point of the season now. How does Dave Cowens, the coach, assess Boston?
Well, we've made some strides, I believe, in conditioning and having the team working together a little bit better. Our timing is better on our plays. I think we've just concentrated on a few things in order to get ourselves moving. Seems like the way that we best compete in this league is to run and to move and to push the ball up the floor. And if we stop doing that, we tend to go downhill very fast.
Dave, you've always been a private person. Has it been a difficult adjustment becoming player?
See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. The first thing you notice about the Bic shaver is that the handle is hollow, practically worthless. Bic put the money into their top-quality bonded stainless steel blade. That's why Bic can charge only 19 3/4 cents a shaver. And each one gives you days and days of close, comfortable shaves. The Bic shaver, hollow handle, superior blade, incredible price.
Basketball is everyone's game. Short folks, tall folks, girl folks, boy folks, young folks, all folks. Basketball is everyone's game. Basketball, it's your game.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. Cold Milwaukee, where the score of the Chicago Bulls 43, the Milwaukee Bucks 54. Don, I understand you were in Boston recently talking to Dave Cowens.
Talk to the Big Redhead is now the player coach, and I think it's kind of interesting how the guy looks at basketball.
Well, let's go to the interview and see what he had to say.
It came as a major surprise to just about everyone in basketball and everybody who follows the game when Dave Cowens accepted the job as player coach of the Boston Celtics. Dave, you started out in a hole. The team was 2-12 when you took over. You're about the halfway point of the season now. How does Dave Cowens, the coach, assess Boston?
Well, we've made some strides, I believe, in conditioning and having the team working together a little bit better. Our timing is better on our plays. I think we've just concentrated on a few things in order to get ourselves moving. Seems like the way that we best compete in this league is to run and to move and to push the ball up the floor. And if we stop doing that, we tend to go downhill very fast.
Dave, you've always been a private person. Has it been a difficult adjustment becoming player coach?
Not really. At first, the vocal cords and the throat had to get used to the excessive talking at practices, to the players, in meetings with the coaches, and talking extensively with Red Auerbach, and trying to learn as much as possible about coaching and strategies, as well as talking with the press after games. At first, even more so than now, because it was new. And I figured after 2 or 3 weeks it would die down and everything would return to normal, basically.
Dave, there's a lot of young men who'd like to be Dave Cowens, live your life as an NBA All-Star. And yet you said in the past that you think the public might accord too much celebrity to basketball players, to professional athletes in general. Do you still feel that way?
I think if a young person wants to be a pro player, and then that's all well and good. There's, sports are super for people. There's the competition involved, and you get to work in a group setting, and it's super to learn how to get along with other people. But sometimes I think a celebrity or a professional athlete's personal life is dealt with too extensively. And this is the only thing that I disagree with. We're out here to play basketball. The reason people know us is because of our basketball skills. They usually don't go into getting involved with your less talented people or the guys that you don't know very well, the marginal players. Usually they don't go into their personal lives very much. They only try to hit on the fellas that have done very well and succeeded. And then, instead of concentrating just on basketball, they want to get into all the, how's your married life and what do you do on your off time and all that stuff, which basically, in my opinion, is nobody's business. If a guy wants to answer and he wants to tell him, fine. If not, he shouldn't be considered aloof or a recluse because he doesn't want to share that knowledge.
Dave, you were married a few months ago. Does your new bride, Debbie, like this lifestyle, being in the public eye as much as you both are?
I think she likes it all right. I think sometimes people start asking her about different situations or our home life and that she doesn't know. She's never been accosted by strangers, in the Boston Garden or on the street. So I think it's a little bit new to her also, and she's handled it very well.
After every basketball season, win or lose, Dave Cowens always headed right back to the farm in Kentucky. Is that where the Cowens would eventually like to spend all their time?
Well, we bought a house here in Needham, Massachusetts, in November, so I'll probably be spending most of my time up here. The farm is really, that's been overplayed a bit, I think. I bought 30 acres. I wouldn't really call it a working farm or a farm as such. I'd call it a big backyard. More so than a working farm, yes.
But would you eventually go back there when you're done playing, or you're not?
I don't know. Now that I'm married, I'm kind of, separated from, the Kentucky scene, and I have to go on, maybe have kids in the future. So,
I think the one thing that people will always have a recurring question about, and that they'd like to ask you, Dave, people who are watching who follow the NBA. They were quite stunned when in 1976 you took your now famed sabbatical. Why did you leave then?
Because I didn't think that I was getting anything out of basketball, and I wasn't giving anything. So it wasn't a very good relationship between myself and the game, and I decided that the only way to solve this problem was to get away from it.
You feel good about the game again now?
I think so, yeah. I resolved my problems.
All right, David, thank you for taking time out. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Dave Cowens, the player coach of the Boston Celtics.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Monday, just about everything that can go wrong does on the Tim Conway Show. Don't miss the fun with special guests Carol Burnett, Don Knotts, and Village People, Monday at 8/7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
At the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts during the season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Chevrolet will present a check for $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the player's college or university. Any student may be eligible to benefit from these scholarship funds. Today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. John, you and I will be voting for the MVP, and should we disagree, our producer, Bill Good News Barnes, will cast the deciding vote. And now, let's go to Pat Summerall, who is standing by at Madison Square Garden in New York, getting set for that big tennis match later this afternoon on CBS. Pat?
Thank you, and I hope later this afternoon you'll join the Davis Cup captain Tony Trabert and I here at Madison Square Garden for the finals between Arthur Ashe, who is 35 years old, mature they called him yesterday, and young John McEnroe, 19.
Well, Pat, I think if Arthur Ashe plays like he did yesterday, this is match point against Brian Gottfried. He served extremely well, and if he serves well, he's going to give John McEnroe problems. If he doesn't serve well, it could be very difficult. That point got Arthur Ashe into the final.
And now to the other semifinal, that between Eddie Dibbs and John McEnroe.
John McEnroe has been super. Well, he's had a great year of tennis, but he's played awfully well in this event. This is not match point, but it sort of typifies the play of John McEnroe in his match against Eddie Dibbs. He should be in trouble here. Quick hands, and that kind of tennis helps him advance into today's final.
And it should be a great final, Tony.
It really should. McEnroe has a lot of touch, good racket control. Ashe is going to be all power. He's going to be trying to jump on him, so it should be quite a match.
The winner will collect the first prize of $100,000. We'll be back later. Right now, let's get back to the NBA on CBS.
We are back at Milwaukee. We'll have the second half in just a moment with the Bucks in the lead, led by Marques Johnson.
Think of yourself in a special way in a new Monte Carlo from Chevrolet. Think of yourself behind the wheel, enjoying that special Monte Carlo feel, standing tall, feeling proud. Put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
The Miller people promised me a case of light beer if I could keep this ball spinning for the length of this commercial. Now, I'm not one to show off, but I do just about anything for a few light beers. You see, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer and it's less filling, so I can stay loose. But the thing I like best is the taste. And I believe at this time that somebody here owes me a case of that taste. Thanks a lot, boys. See you around.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, Charlie.
Well, off on another last-minute business trip, huh?
Yeah, gonna fly the old friendly skies.
You know you could take someone along for half fare?
My wife and I didn't have time to...
No advance notice. She just walks up with you, pays half fare, and away you go.
You mean I couldn't?
Did you know you could take your kids for free?
Oh.
They could be with you right now. No charge.
Oh, thanks, United. I'll be right back.
At United, the savings are bigger and the restrictions are smaller.
Fly the friendly skies.
Hello, I'm Larry O'Brien, Commissioner of the National Basketball Association. The NBA supports the work of Variety Clubs International, which does so much for underprivileged children. As the Variety Clubs say, no one stands taller than when he or she stoops to help a child in need. So stand tall. Give the kids in your area a helping hand by supporting your local Variety Club. Follow the lead of the NBA.
Preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association.
The NBA on CBS, sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers coast to coast. And by Gillette, makers of Atra, America's original pivoting head razor.
We don't just have a lot of NBA All-Star basketball players here in Milwaukee today. We also have the best woman basketball player in America, and John McLaughlin's going to talk to her now.
Thank you, Don. She's pretty, too. She's a good basketball player, All-American from UCLA. She just won the Broderick Award, the outstanding female collegiate athlete in the country. She's a silver medal winner for the Olympic team, the female Olympic team, and this year, of course, she hopes to represent the United States again. Annie, I know you're, of course, sister of Dave Myers with the Milwaukee Bucks. Are you getting prepared now for the Olympic team? What do you do in preparation this early for the 1980 Olympics?
Well, right now it's kind of hard for me because I'm not playing for UCLA, and that way I was staying in shape during the season. Right now I'm running track for UCLA, and I'm also working out with the women's team. And in April, we start training for the Olympic team in the sense that we go to Korea for the World Championship Games, Puerto Rico for the Pan Am Games, and World University Games for Mexico City.
You know, there's a pro basketball league now for the gals. Was this a difficult decision at all for you to consider, well, should I turn pro or should I wait on the Olympics?
Not really, because I had other obligations. First of all, I'm still finishing up my undergrad. I'm going to finish up in March, and I was also looking for the 1980 Olympics.
Well, thank you, Annie. This girl can shoot. We'll be looking forward to seeing her in the 1980 Olympics. Back to you, Don.
Okay, Ann Myers, who led UCLA's women's team to the national championship in basketball. The sister of Dave Myers of the Milwaukee Bucks, who unfortunately, as you know, is out right now with a back injury. We're ready for the start of the third period here at the Mecca in Milwaukee. Don Criqui with John McLaughlin. There are the first half statistics. The Bulls hitting 45%, Milwaukee 49%. The big game came from Marques Johnson. A big first half, 18 points. Free throw shooting has been poor. Assists equaled out. Offensive rebounds the same, as have the defensive rebounds. A disparity in turnovers. Chicago committing 8 more than Milwaukee. Free throw shooting decides a lot of games, and that could be the outcome here. The team that gets hot from the 15-foot mark. Professional basketball teams, you shoot better than 47%.
Well, these two
53.
Clubs, that's right. Those should be field goal percentage marks rather than free throw. And both of these clubs, fairly average for pro teams from the line, both shooting 76% on the season.
Free throw shooting is really a matter of working out. There's a high school in Indiana that averages every year, Valparaiso High School. Right. Better free throw shooting as a team than is the record for a single season in the Big Ten. Strictly on a program, everybody works at it. Here's a rebound slapped around. Marques Johnson gets the ball from Milwaukee, feeds to Benson. Challenging Gilmore. He challenged Gilmore but put too much on it. Just pass to Dudley, lead back to Reggie Theus inside for Chicago. And Quinn Buckner leads a perfect break. 3-on-2. Flanks are filled. Buckner feeds to Marques Johnson. And he loops a pass to Reggie Theus. Foot race. Winters are going to challenge him. Back to Dudley. And Benson, who's moving up and down the court very well.
Boy, both clubs just playing rather wildly right now, and you'll see Theus advancing the ball up the court. Winters getting back to protect on him, and of course the foul of Benson getting in the lane. Benson, very active. He fills the passing lane or the running lanes very nice for a big guy.
Ollie Johnson working on Marques Johnson, loses him with a spin dribble, but then the ball is rejected inside, comes back inbounds to the Chicago Bulls. Here in the third period, they're working with Artis Gilmore in the pivot. John Brown is the power forward. Ollie Johnson, the quick forward. Reggie Theus and Charles Dudley in the back line. Gilmore with the ball against Benson. Also in the game for Milwaukee, Brian Winters, Marques Johnson, Quinn Buckner, and Kevin Rustani. Free side, open there is Dudley. The quick pass to the weak side away from the ball, but there's no shot. Theus will now put one up for Chicago. And he brings the Bulls back to within 9. It's 54-45.
The Bulls did a nice job that time, moving the ball around, finding the open man. The Bucks really scattering, trying to double team.
We're going to have a loose ball foul signal. Jack Nice, one of the referees, along with Bob Rakel and Jeff Kersey. Loose ball foul is signaled against Rustani, his first personal foul. Chicago now, the bucket here, can get right back in it. 54-45 Milwaukee early in the third period. A loop to Gilmore. They need more from him. They got nothing but personal fouls in the first period. He sat out the second. Milwaukee on the run. Buckner taking it into traffic, taking it right through and laying it up off the offhand, the left hand.
Wow, the value of penetration. Coaches talk about it. We talk about it as much as possible. Buckner just advancing the ball up the court here, and you see that matador reaching defense. Buckner goes right for the basket.
Gilmore with only 4 points for Chicago. They need offense from him. They're going to go to him now down low against Kent Benson. Up and over. Right on down.
He finally got to where he wanted to go, and that's one of the few times he's set up on the right side of the floor. He came into that left hook, and that's when the Bucks want to double team here.
9:50 to go, third period. Milwaukee in the lead, 56-47. Marques Johnson with John Brown playing a physical, tight defense against him. They're trying to deny Marques Johnson the ball because if he gets it, there's a pretty good chance he's going to go in the hoop the way he's been playing. A lot of movement with the basketball, and the open man is Marques Johnson.
Well, the value of offensive rebounds. The Bucks miss, they get the ball back, and that can catch the defense off guard, and they moved it around nicely. Marques Johnson wide open, and once again hitting an outside jump shot.
Gilmore down low, triple team, puts it off glass, basket goes, and Gilmore fouled on the play, goes for the three-point.
Well, that's an excellent play that Larry Costello has set up. You can't really see it that well here, but the Bulls have cleared out one side. They pulled everyone out high. They bring Reggie Theus over, and, of course, they clear the lane. Gilmore throw it inside, and he just works one-on-one.
Rustani was called for the foul, his second, with 9:13 left to play in the third period. We have a timeout on the floor here at the Mecca in Milwaukee, with the Bucks leading 58-49. When we come back, Gilmore will go to the free throw line.
From the wheat fields out in Kansas to the city by the bay, along the Mississippi, all across the USA. You're looking at the one car more people buy today. This is it, America, new Chevrolet.
The new Chevrolet, a new generation car bought and embraced by more than 1 million people in its first 2 years. Caprice and Impala for 1979.
This is it, America, new Chevrolet.
You're out! Sorry, kid. Gotta take you out of cleanup.
Over 6 million shavers have said goodbye to their old razors and said hello to Atra, Gillette's best shave. The revolutionary Atra pivoting head gives a face-hugging action that outshaves every razor we've ever made.
Close. Very close.
Atra, Gillette's best shave.
Atra, you're in a league by yourself.
Guilty. Not guilty. 6 votes guilty, 6 votes not guilty.
Oh,
This could go on all day. Bailiff! Pass out the right guard deodorant.
Good.
We got stick or spray. With right guard, stick or spray protects all day. They don't just cover up odor, they help stop odor before it starts. All day. 6 took stick, 6 took spray. It's unanimous.
Right guard deodorant. Don't get dressed without it.
Artis Gilmore at the free throw line for the Chicago Bulls, averaging, as you see, 25 points a game, just 8 so far today. Did not play second period, 3 personal fouls in the first, put him on the bench. Looking for a three-point play. Gilmore can't get it, but Chicago's going to get the basketball back. Last touch by Milwaukee. Brown will bring it in for the Bulls.
Gilmore, by the way, continues to lead the NBA in field goal percentage, and he's also in the top 10 in 3 other areas.
Benson comes up with a loose ball. Chicago trying to loop it to Gilmore. Had too much on it. Rustani pulling up. Rebound to Dudley and a whistle inside. Here's a technical foul on Don Nelson. He's really hot.
I don't really know what he's upset about. Something in the backcourt. Apparently they felt there was a foul. There was a lot of commotion when Gilmore went for the ball out of bounds. I still don't really know what it is.
2 technical fouls have been assessed so far against the Bucks. One against Van Leer, another against Don Nelson. Chicago is only 9 of 21 from the free throw line. Missed 12 of 21 free throws. That's 43%. Then the difference. It's 58-49 Milwaukee.
Oh, nice move by Gilmore. He moved inside on Benson. Benson had to go with him, and he came back to that left hook. And you can see the Bulls going to Gilmore more and more, and they're clearing out the lane, so he will have a lot of room to work.
Down by 11, the Chicago Bulls now down by 7. 8:35 to play in the third period as you see Kansas City with a 12-point advantage over the Knicks. Benson going hard to the basket, gets it down and draws a foul.
Wow, that was a set play. They're trying to get that foul on Gilmore, and that's his fourth. And here you'll see Benson get the ball just above the free throw line. The Bucks clear out the right side, and the big guy from Indiana barrels to the basket and gets a potential three-point play.
And Benson now with 8 points, and more importantly, a fourth foul is assessed against Gilmore. 6'10", 235 pounds from Newcastle, Indiana. College Player of the Year in 1976, most valuable player in the Big Ten in 1976. Kent Benson. Loop down low, Gilmore's in there, can't get it, and Benson outworks him, but gives the ball to Dudley. That's all.
Dudley doing a great job staying back, playing the passing lanes, knowing when Benson got the rebound, he's going to want to give it up to a smaller guy, but it was the wrong guy.
Dudley, he'll work on you on defense. Hustling at Winters. It's a free ball, and Benson came out and takes. You guys were on the deck, and there's a ball just bouncing along. Rustani pulls up on the outside, hits the bucket for Milwaukee. John?
The ball stayed in bounds, Don. They both went after it, and none of the other players seemed to think that they should go after it. Apparently, they thought it was a call. The official scorer even blew the horn to get Gianelli in the game, but it was not a dead ball.
Now it's a 63-53 game, Milwaukee. After the hit by Rustani from the outside, Ali Johnson takes it inside for Chicago and draws a foul.
Buckner gets into foul trouble in many games in reaching in. Now, he's really a good defensive player, but now you'll see, now watch, he comes up to play the D, he reaches in, it looked like he didn't really have contact, but the official can't tell that, and that's, of course, the value of penetration by Ali Johnson. Even though he went to the basket under control, he still drew the foul.
2 shots.
Wow. They have really been shooting poorly today from the line.
Say free throw shooting is concentration.
Don, it is. It's just a matter of going to the line and shooting and shooting and shooting. And I don't think pro players in general spend enough time practicing free throws.
Chicago has not recently. Bulls down by 9. Inside to Marques Johnson. That was a great play. As he put double fakes on to lose the defense. Ali Johnson was sweeping in for a recheck. Marques Johnson now has 22 for Milwaukee. And the Bucks again extend their lead to 11 points, 65-54. And again, a whistle inside stops play. John?
This time, Gilmore going away from the ball, and the Bulls a little confused as to what they wanted to run on offense. Therefore, Gilmore trying to come back to the ball. Reggie Theus going one-on-one, and really he hasn't done it as much today as he is really capable of doing.
You're the harbor pilot. You take ships out to the open sea, and you do it through channels that shift and currents that can run you aground. And the only map you really trust is the one you keep in your head.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Now comes Miller time. Time to head for shore and the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, Miller stands clear. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
You don't need a haircut, Mr. Reed. You need Brill Cream.
Brill Cream?
Sure. Your hair is short enough, but it's a mess.
It sure is.
Brill Cream's so concentrated, just a little dab keeps my hair healthy looking and in control all day. Watch. Without Brill Cream, hair's out of control. With Brill Cream, hair stays in control. Try a little dab. See? Terrific, huh?
You're right. With Brill Cream, a little dab will do you.
There's more NBA basketball coming up next Sunday here on CBS. Julius Erving and the Philadelphia 76ers go to Boston to play Mr. Cowens and his Celtics. And the Chicago Bulls will be against Cleveland at Richfield, Ohio. That's next Sunday at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And also coming up on February 4th, the NBA All-Star Game from Detroit. Reggie Theus at the free throw line for the Chicago Bulls. 65-54. Milwaukee with an 11-point lead, a 10-point advantage, and Milwaukee with the ball. Ginelli's in the game now for Benson.
Marques Johnson, by the way, will be in that All-Star game.
Chicago has missed 14 of 25 free throws.
Number 2, Junior Bridgman into the lineup.
Not quite enough there for Quinn Buckner. Here comes Theus. He can go. Reggie Theus takes it the distance. Right on through.
I told you he was exciting, and now
here's another guy can go.
That's right. Marques Johnson advancing it the other way. The Bucks turn it over.
Chicago with a chance now for consecutive hoops. Who would get them back in if they cannot get it to go? Ginelli clears. Looks for the outlet. Milwaukee's going to keep on running. The slammer puts it down. Marques Johnson with 24 points, and Milwaukee again with a 10-point lead. Gilmore almost traveling. No shot there. Ginelli overplaying him to the side he wanted the hook on. Dudley takes it inside. He draws a foul. So Milwaukee is over the limit.
And that is a factor in favor of the Bulls. And the Bucks have found themselves this year many times getting into foul trouble early. They are over the limit. The Bulls, on the other hand, with only one team foul. And that was a nice move by Charlie Dudley. He got inside and he leaned into the defensive player to put pressure on him. Therefore, the foul. Van Leer in and Buckner out.
Norm Van Leer comes into play in the back line of the Milwaukee Bucks as Dudley puts up the free throw for Chicago. They just can't get it to work here, John.
One in play. The Bucks not knocking them dead at the line either.
Wow. First half, Milwaukee's hit 56%. They've made 9 of 16. Chicago with only 13 of 28 from the free throw line. Johnson working hard down low. He wants to take it right in against the double team, and he does. And there's a foul called on the play against Ali Johnson of Chicago. And Marques Johnson of Milwaukee is at the free throw line. He'll be looking for his 25th and 26th points.
This is just a post-up situation. Marques and Ali Johnson. Look, two other Bulls, Landsberger, Gilmore, coming over to try to help out, but still Marques Johnson gets to the line.
Going to have his average here in just a moment. With a long time to go. 5:47 to play in the third period. Marques Johnson with 26 points. And it's again a 10-point advantage for Milwaukee as Dudley loses Van Leer with a behind-the-back dribble, goes to Ali Johnson and runs right into him. Offensive foul on Dudley. What's that, John?
Well, Dudley a little upset with that. Van Leer playing him, and they were trying to set up a play that obviously brought Theus around a double screen. It didn't go that far. Van Leer drew the foul.
Milwaukee now running plays. Rustani comes out. Kick set by Ginelli. He breaks off it when there's no shot and loops it down low to Junior Bridgman with a height advantage over Charles Dudley. But Ali Johnson rebounds for Chicago. Reggie Theus down low calling for the ball. Does not go to him. John Brown. Big guy. Pops it on down. About 22 feet out. 8-point advantage for Milwaukee. 69-61 with 4:55 left to play in the third period. From the Mecca in Milwaukee, this is Don Cricky with John McLaughlin. NBA basketball on CBS. As Rustani, who's had some big field goals and they've left him open, he's hit him. Looking inside now, goes down low to Bridgman. They're posting Bridgman down low against Dudley. Bridgman 3 inches taller, but up court comes Theus to Ali Johnson. Foul on Van Leer. A good foul by Van Leer. He stopped a short fast break that would have paid off.
It was a good foul, that's right. And the way the Bulls shooting today, you would rather put them on the line than give them a layup, which they would have had in that situation. The Bulls getting it out very nicely, then running the fast break.
Reggie Theus from Inglewood, California, and Nevada at Las Vegas. Talking to Reggie before the game, the big difference is in basketball. He said one is the trips. He says you play a lot more games, you travel a lot farther, and the other is that Nevada, Las Vegas. He said we didn't know what a play was. We just went full speed from the time we opening tip-off. They averaged a shot every 7 to 10 seconds.
Wow, it sounds like San Antonio, huh? The Spurs get it out pretty well, too.
They're winning with it. Good club. Marques Johnson, no shot there as Gilmore is now starting to come out to help out. Somebody's got it because Marques Johnson's eaten up Chicago's defenders. Junior Bridgman free. And Ginelli with good position glides inside Gilmore, gets the offensive tip and the basket. It's 71-62 Milwaukee.
The Bulls defense has been doing a good job swarming the ball, but they're leaving the weak side of the court open. The Bucks hadn't taken advantage of it until that last play.
Ollie Johnson sends up a boinger. Caroms off the back of the rim, and here comes Milwaukee. Van Leer pulling up. And now back the other way as we have the first points of the game by Van Leer, and it's 73-62.
Van Leer playing with his hands behind his back. He said, "You're not going to call a holding on me."
Norm Van Leer had his hands folded behind his back when he was playing away from the ball against Wilbur Holland.
Norman taking that jump shot. He doesn't do that too often anymore. He's decided lately, I'm going to take that shot.
Norman never dazzled him with his shooting percentage.
No, that's true. Although there was a time he would take that shot and be very effective with it, or at least effective enough. But this year he hasn't been looking for it at all.
Artis Gilmore has played in over 600 consecutive professional basketball games. Never missed one as a pro or in college. 73-63. We have 3.5 minutes to go in the third period. Van Leer is going to get some more of it if he can. Rebound down to Mickey Johnson. Lead to Reggie Theus. Lead off to Holland. What a nice looking break. Look at these guys play.
Holland can get out on the break nicely too. And of course that time it looked like Ginelli might come over and intimidate him, but no way.
You look at this, literally thousands of college basketball players, and percentage-wise, almost none. Way under 1% makes it in the NBA of all the college players. Rebound comes down to Johnson after Holland can't get it to go. 73-65. Milwaukee with the basket here. Can extend its lead again to 10.
And the Bulls still with only 2 team fouls. They can afford to play aggressive defense.
Ball was knocked in the backcourt by Chicago. Larry Costello up, yelling at his team, exhorting them to play that tight defense. Grunfeld loses the ball to Wilbur Holland. Chicago looking to run now. They didn't get it done with that patterned offense. Mickey Johnson comes up with the ball in the corner. A lot of time on the 24-second clock. Up, Gilmore posting down low, looking for the pass, forgot where his feet were. They were on red.
Yeah, he apparently lined up on the wrong line that time. The Bulls playing good defense now, Don. They're the number 3 defensive team in the NBA. Part of that may be because of their offense.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where's Bob? I thought he was with you.
No, you're kidding. He's not down yet.
Couldn't see something happen?
Let's start looking.
Hey! I'm on a Lowenbrow! Bob!
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Hey, you know, for a minute there, you really had us worried.
I know. Thanks.
Port of call, Caribbean. The Navy. See your local recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Introducing Hertz Takeoff Rates. Save up to 35% on the average weekday rental when you take off Thursday through Sunday for a minimum of 2 to 3 days. Take off in a subcompact for only $13.95 a day. Fairmont's $15.95. Granada $17.95. Thunderbirds $21.95 a day. All with no charge for mileage. There are some restrictions, so check with Hertz. Take off next weekend with Hertz Low Takeoff Rates.
This This is Illy Killalay. John Killalay, the assistant coach of the Bucks. His pretty wife.
There's Andy Myers sitting behind him.
That's right.
Probably saying to herself, I'd like to give a shot with these guys, see if I couldn't play with them. She was shooting with him yesterday, did very well.
She can do it, I'll tell you.
Shoot, I know.
Really can.
She can also handle the ball. George Johnson didn't get it the first time, hooked it up on the way down. Grunfeld can't get a follow-up shot. Milwaukee does a good job. Well, and that defensive board goes over to Chicago. They're protecting the flank, looking to steal it back. Tough to get an outlet pass. Oh, Mickey Johnson working inside, gets it up and down. And with 1:50 to go in the third period, Milwaukee was down to 6. Now they're up to 8 again. Grunfeld scoring.
The Bulls having some mix-ups now and then defensively, and they're letting people go free like on that layup by Grunfeld.
Artis, I think the game plan now is get the big guy pumping, get him putting up some points, shooting over the defense, again a 6-point lead for Milwaukee. Van Leer scores, Theus tips the ball, and it's saved inbounds nicely by Ali Johnson, stolen by Van Leer. Grunfeld pulling up for a free shot. Ernie Grunfeld now at 6 points for Chicago.
Van Leer already taking more outside jumpers than I've seen him take all season. But of course that time he recouped by making the steal.
Artis Gilmore right back outside. Ali Johnson with a good head fake, loses the defense, hits the jump shot at 77-71.
What's very obvious is that this last time out, the Bulls coaches told their players to go to Gilmore as much as possible.
Milwaukee working hard to penetrate.
Ali Johnson tipped that in. Van Leer will probably get credit. He was the closest man to him.
Biggest ovation of the afternoon.
Look at the defense by Van Leer. Look at his hands.
Look at ice skater out there.
That's funny. Well, they are calling that closer now. They're watching the hand checking.
And Ali Johnson went down hard. Colliding with his own teammate Wilbur Holland. Ali Johnson up. Back up it goes. Mickey Johnson gets it just before the time expired in the third period. We'll watch it once again.
Here you see the pass inside. Van Leer misses this layup. Little underlay there. And look, Mom, it came right back. You see the tip in by Ali Johnson.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Dramatic adventure high in the sky with daredevil hang gliders. James Coburn stars in Sky Riders, Tuesday night at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. This is CBS.
Be sure to stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of the game. Right now, Marques Johnson is the top point producer. He has 26 for Milwaukee as we open the fourth period. He's the only Buck with double figures. Chicago has 3 players with double figures. Gilmore with 11 in the second half now has 15. Theus has 15. Mickey Johnson with 14 as Gilmore now goes to 17. We've got a basketball game. An 11-point lead cut down to 4. Milwaukee's lead down to 79-75. Opening minute of the fourth period here at the Mecca in Milwaukee. Don Criqui with John McLaughlin. The NBA on CBS. Van Leer takes it to the basket. Doesn't get it to go, and Chicago working harder, gets the rebound, but Grunfeld comes up with the intercept. Rejected by Artis Gilmore, but the shot's trajectory on the way down, it's goaltending.
Wow, Grunfeld put that ball up high. Actually, it might have been a bad decision. He had people wide open on both lanes, but look, he puts it up high enough. He knows Gilmore is there. Goaltending.
Reggie Theus sets a precarious place to be dribbling the ball right to the midcourt line and go over and back without knowing it. Gilmore looking to the offense, and now another one at 81, 77.
The Bulls doing a nice job mixing their offensive plays for Gilmore. They're clearing aside, letting him reverse underneath, and at other times letting him come to his hook.
Unelli can't get the shot to go. Johnson can't control the defense for Chicago, so Milwaukee will keep the ball. Marques Johnson ready to put it in. Here in the first quarter, Marques Johnson teaming with Lloyd Walton in the game for the first time. He has the ball in 2 small guards, 2 quick guards. Now Grunfeld hits for his 9th and 10th points on the field goal. And it's again a 6-point advantage for the Bucks. John?
The Bucks very seldom go with Walton and Van Leer together. As a matter of fact, I've never seen it happen. And obviously they want to move the club as much as they can. But look at the big guy come back from the hook. They're bringing him on both sides of the court, and he's scoring points.
Gilmore starting to tear it up. He has 17 second half points. 21 for the game. Again, it's a 4-point advantage for Milwaukee. A team that's led by 11 several times in the game, including in the third period. Marques Johnson fires. He's been quiet for a while. He has 28.
Nothing else is going. Give it to Marques and let him go one-on-one. And at the other end, look at this.
Gilmore can't get the roll that time. Here comes Lloyd Walton. So very quick out of Marquette. Can't get the penetration. Leads off to Marques Johnson. Gilmore didn't have to leave the ground to take that down. He could probably stop it without leaving the ground. Lloyd Walton can't stay with Holland. Is overplaying him, and Holland goes on by. Loops down low to Reggie Theus. Tipped away by Van Leer. Off of Walton, it'll come inbounds to Chicago.
Well, the Bulls knew right away they had a mismatch, and they have had for some time. They really haven't taken advantage of it. Theus can go inside very nicely. They should post him up on the smaller Buck guards, but Winters is in, Van Leer is out. John Brown in the game.
Inbounds play goes to Holland. Chicago looking to come back to within 4 with 9:25 to play. Gilmore to Theus. Nice fake by Reggie Theus right to the basket. And Larry Costello is up, waving his team back on defense now. Don't give him an easy one. As Chicago's down by just 4, 85-81. 9:10 left to play in the game. Crowd comes alive here at Milwaukee as Lloyd Walton dancing with the ball, gives it off. Chicago doubling up, a hack on Theus. Chicago's playing that basketball. They're defending against the ball, doubling, tripling up on it.
Vincent coming in, Gianelli going out for the Bucks, and the Bucks that time running a play that they were run for Bridgman or Winters. It's a double screen on one side, a single screen on the other. Winters coming around the double that time, and of course getting the foul.
Walton going baseline. Might have stepped on it.
Walton trying to get inside baseline, but watch Gilmore step over and take that away from him, and of course, here's the charge. I think it was a good call.
Offensive foul, and now might have another T coming up.
Technical on Lloyd Walton. And Walton, I believe it was on Walton. We'll try to pick that up. He has no idea what it's about.
Usually those, John, you said the wrong thing, and they heard you.
Sometimes it's action also.
Chicago would be a decided leader in this game had they been able to hit 75% of their free throws.
Oh, they would have a commanding lead. I think the Bulls have done an excellent job in this game. During the stretch, I think you feel that the Bucks have played better than the Bulls, but not true. The Bulls right here.
It's a three-point game. Milwaukee's lead down to 3. It could be 1 in a moment as Theus takes it to the basket. Doesn't get the roll. Brown charges in. He's going to be called for a loose ball foul. The ball is back to Milwaukee.
Well, the main thing for the Bucks there, they kept inside position. Brown trying to get to the board, of course, climbing over too many people. But look at Theus going to the basket, getting inside, just short, a little short on the left, but Brown coming over everyone.
Gilmore leads Chicago at 21. Theus has 17. Johnson has 14. Leader for Milwaukee and in the game is Marques Johnson with 28. Standing with 8. Henson with 9. Winters with 8. Buckner with 9. 10 for Ernie Grunfeld.
Now we see a reverse of the third quarter. The Bulls getting in foul trouble early. They have 3 team fouls. The Bucks with none.
8:24 left to play in the game. 85-82. Milwaukee holding to the 3-point lead, trying to get it to their ace, Marques Johnson. And again, we have a goal-10 signal against Artis Gilmore. So Marques is better with a field goal, and he now has 30 points.
Here you'll see the Bucks posting up Marques Johnson. He turns, he puts the ball up high. Gilmore coming over. Goaltending.
Mickey Johnson working and weaving inside. Can't get it to drop. He had a 3-point attempt, Teddy. He'll go to the free throw line now for 2. Kent Benson gets only his second personal foul.
Benson coming over to help out on Mickey Johnson. He sees him going one-on-one. Gets there a little late, and of course it gets the foul.
2 shots.
Just ain't there today for Chicago from the free throw line as the Bulls have now missed 18 of the 34 free throws they've taken. And again, we have a 4-point game, Milwaukee. Bucks for the ball, Lloyd Walton controlling it. Marques Johnson comes out against John Brown. They're giving him a clear side one-on-one. Back to Grunfeld. He pulls out for the shot. Didn't have enough arc. Comes down to Gilmore. It's over Holland. Alongside of John Brown. He goes out the exit.
Turnovers can kill you, and of course we've talked about that. They've hurt the Bulls a lot this year, and that was a situation when it really should not have happened. Holland probably should have kept the ball, advanced it a little further, then given it up to the big man.
Talking about the turnovers, John. Chicago's turned the ball over 22 times. Milwaukee, 13 turnovers. Ryan Winters with a high shot. Right there, and again, it's a 6-point lead for Milwaukee. Now Larry Costello is up. The Bucks over to Cox-Don Nelson. The Bulls over to Coach Larry Costello. Timeout on the floor. As in the fourth period, the Milwaukee Bucks holding to an 89-83 lead over Chicago. 7:28 to play in the game.
Head and Shoulders doesn't have it. Selsun Blue doesn't have it. Only Denerex has it. An extra relief medicine to stop dandruff itch. You can feel it tingle. All 3 have one medicine for dandruff itch, but only Denerex adds a second medicine, an exclusive anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend. You can feel it tingle. That's extra relief medicine, and only Denerex has it. Denerex stops dandruff itch with extra relief medicine no leading shampoo has.
Know what I'm taking for my cold? Harry's sinus medicine, Dristan tablets, and it works.
If it's powerful enough to clear my sinuses.
It's powerful enough for my cold.
Dristan does more for cold miseries than the leading cold remedy. Look, Dristan's daily dose gives you more strength to drain congestion, dry, runny nose, plus extra medicine to relieve aches and fever. The leading cold remedy has none.
That's why Dristan's my sinus medicine.
My cold medicine.
Dristan, the powerful one for sinuses and colds.
The more foreign car prices go up, the more it pays to put your money in a Chevy Chevette. It's like money in the bank. Here's what makes it such a value. This Chevette 4-door hatchback has standard white striped tires, body side moldings, AM radio, sports steering wheel, console, reclining front bucket seats, and more. Yet Chevette is hundreds of dollars less than Toyota, Datsun, or VW Rabbit. Chevy Chevette. It's like money in the bank.
Back at the Mecca in Milwaukee, starting to head down the stretch now. Still a lot of time to go, 7:28 to play. And the Milwaukee Bucks are in the lead 89-83. We welcome the fans who have just joined us. The Milwaukee Bucks are in the white uniforms, the Chicago Bulls in red. The score, Milwaukee 89, Chicago 83. With 7:28 to go in the fourth period, this is Don Cricky with John McLaughlin. Chicago trailed by 11 number of times. They had foul problems with their center, Artis. Gilmore did not play the second period, Gilmore. But now they've come on with an aggressive defense. They've been getting the ball back, and they've been right into the game. They were down by 3 a moment ago. Spinning off and firing. An errant shot is Mickey Johnson. Here comes Brian Winters, leading the Milwaukee Bucks down the floor. Lloyd Walton goes one-on-one with Wilbur Holland. The big guys crash inside. Rebound comes to Reggie Theus. This man can fly, and Reggie Theus takes it right on through, but called for foul.
Now, there was a situation where Reggie Theus really had Wilbur Holland on the left. Had he given the ball up, it might have been a 2. The Bucks getting back to play their good defense. And in this fourth quarter so far, the Bulls playing very well, shooting 57% from the field.
Those of you who just joined us, Chicago's big problem has been with the free throws. They have missed the vast preponderance of their free throws, missed 16 of their first 34. They have the lead, were able to hit the free throws. Right now, we have a personal foul on John Brown, and John must sit down. That's 6.
Marques Johnson that time trying to go for a play on the lob, and he didn't quite get inside. The foul committed.
Now let's go back to Brent Musburger in Kansas City. As we continue here in Milwaukee with the Bucks with the ball, Brian Winters throws it down low to Ernie Grunfeld. Looking at Kent Benson across court, it goes to Walton. Pulling up, just enough there. Lloyd Walton, Connell High School in Chicago, makes the hit. It's now a 91-83 game. Milwaukee extending its lead to 8 points. Grunfeld comes down with the ball. He's like a big tight end heading to the basket. Ernie Grunfeld dumps it off to Kent Benson. Then he can't get it. Mickey Johnson can. 3-on-2 break. Reggie Theus. He can motor.
He can certainly get out. And both clubs have to be concerned getting back on defense. 19 points.
Reggie Theus. 21 for Artis Gilmore. Top point producer Marques Johnson. The Bucks, he has 30. 91-85 game, Milwaukee. Ginelli and Ollie Johnson are the leading rebounders, each with 8 for their respective teams.
Tie up by Gilmore coming over to help out. That time there were 3 or 4 Bulls around Marques Johnson. Now watch, the ball goes into Marques Johnson. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 red jerseys within the vicinity of Marques. But now watch Gilmore put that big arm up, tie Marques up. But who gets the tip?
Milwaukee Bucks back in possession. Now they're starting to work the game clock.
But that can go against Milwaukee at times, Don. They're not a good setup team. They must learn.
Listen, the 6-point lead doesn't hold up with 1 minute in this lead. Then they get the open man, and Brian Winters connects. He's got 12, well under his season average, but extends Milwaukee's lead, as you see, to 93-85. Gilmore looking for points. Feeds off to Holland. 6-point game, Milwaukee. Holland has 10 for the Bulls. Lloyd Walton feeding off to Marques Johnson. Way up and right down. Johnson, like the complete player he is, speeds to the other end to play defense.
Bulls trying to run a post-up that time for Mickey Johnson, and they were yelling, give it to him, he's open. Mickey Johnson, the type of player like Marques Johnson, he can go inside, post up, or he can go out and face the basket.
Theus feeds up to Gilmore as little guy comes over. Walton Hackett can't get to it, but it goes over to Wilbur Holland. He gets the bucket. It is a 95-89 game with 4.5 to go in the game. Milwaukee in the lead. Bucks playing perimeter basketball, gunning it around the white side. Winters settles his team down now, runs that game clock. Pulls up.
We have an offensive foul on Kent Benson setting the screen. He was not established. He was moving. The official saw it. Benson
just glared at the official. Ollie Johnson takes a look down low. They'd like to get to Gilmore. Benson's been doing a good job fronting him, keeping the ball away. Holland comes off.
Holland put that ball in. 91-95 Milwaukee, and the Bucks still with only one team foul because that offensive foul is not considered a team foul.
Holland now has 14 points to get Chicago right back in it. It's 95-91. 3:45 left to play in the game. The Bucks looking for the open shot. Rustani hasn't taken many, but he's been so effective. He now has 10 points for the Bucks.
The Bulls defense, though, doing a good job pushing the Bucks to that outside jump shot. And if they're going to score, you want it to come on a long shot.
Ollie Johnson feeds off to Holland. He's been hot, but Rustani on a switch-off picks him up. There's a mismatch underneath. There sure is. Lloyd Walton has Ollie Johnson. Collision, a full-speed collision, and the guilty party is going to be Ollie Johnson for a charge.
Excellent play by Kent Benson. Here you'll see Mickey Johnson penetrating into the lane. Benson leaving Gilmore, which is risky, but coming over to take the charge. Saved a possible two. .308 left to play in the game. Benson looks to Rustani. Marques Johnson moving quickly inside, looking for the basketball. Already he scored 32 points in the game, had 18 in the first half. Bulls were down by 11 at the half, came back to trail by 6 at the end of 3 quarters. Right now they're down by 6 with 2:56 to play. Here you'll see Benson going to the basket, trying to get the offensive rebound, but he comes over Gilmore. He gets the foul call on him. Junior Bridgman, not pure today. He's been getting some open shots. He's normally a good shooter. They haven't been going down, and he missed that one.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will.
Oh, Brown. What's all this? Compliments of the gentleman at the bar, sir. That is no gentleman.
That's Tom Grant. Tom, I don't believe it.
What's it been, 5 years?
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Somebody's got to say it, you two. Here's to good friends.
All right.
1, 2. They made a brand new tape, as you can see.
New MRX3 Oxide from Memorex.
See, the sound so true, my dears, you won't believe your ears.
MRX3 Oxide makes the difference.
You get higher highs and even lower lows. Is it free or me? Nobody knows.
Now, more than ever, we can ask, is it live or is it Memorex?
Who do you share the power with? The power of Vitalis Super Hold, the pump.
With Tom every morning.
I share it with Jill.
We share the power of the pump. Vitalis Super Hold. The pump keeps our hair looking terrific. Why should women settle for less power when they can get the holding power of the pump? It can hold longer than the leading men's aerosol. Come on. It's better when you share.
Get the pump, Vitalis Super Hold, and share the power.
2:55 left to go. 97-91 Milwaukee as we head down the stretch right now with the Bucks breaking their huddle and going out on defense. Chicago will put the ball in play when we come back. Center matchups. Benson has 9 points, Gilmore 21. Benson's out rebounded Gilmore 7-5. Reggie Theus with Junior Bridgman now in the game for the Milwaukee Bucks, guarding against Theus. Bridgman is only 2 for 11 shooting the ball. He had a problem. Nicely done by Artis Gilmore. Great move, a 4-point game.
Excellent move. He fakes coming to the left to that hook, and the Bucks, of course, would expect that, trying to overplay it. He reverses underneath and lays it in. When he gets that deep, it's 2.
Winters pulling up. Tough shot off the run. Benson tips. Bridgman tips. One of them got it.
Well, Bridgman, of course, he gets credit for that. I think Gilmore was up there with him, but Bridgman has done a super job in the last few games going to the offensive basket. Now, we'll see the play before where Gilmore, he'll fake inside. He'll look inside. Now, watch him reverse. Drop step into the basket and look out. What can you do? What can you do?
So a timeout on the floor now as we have 2:09 left to go in the game, and you see Milwaukee holding to a 6-point lead. We remind you that next Saturday and next Sunday, there'll be live coverage from the Phoenix Open Golf Tournament. Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday at 2 o'clock, the Phoenix Open. The Bucks have 3 timeouts remaining. Chicago Bulls 2. Now I guess it comes down to getting the ball and getting a good shot.
That's right. You have to try to use the clock now with 2:09 remaining. Try to get a good shot. Use it up, at least if you're the Bucks. Now, if you're the Bulls, you want to make the Bucks turn the ball over, start applying some pressure, and try to score points very quickly. Interestingly enough, there have not been a lot of fouls called in this quarter. The Bulls with 4, the Bucks with 2.
Be interesting to see when Scott May is back on a regular basis with the Chicago Bulls. He's just had a tough time with injuries in his 3rd year. First year at mononucleosis, 2nd year a knee operation. He had another one. Coming off another one now. He's missed 74 games since he joined the team.
You know, Don, this game is difficult enough. All these players are great players. It's very obvious. It's difficult enough when you're in good condition and you don't have any injury problems or any pain. But if something is bothering you, that just compounds it. And of course, when he does come back from a surgery, then he's always playing back into shape, and that's difficult also.
That's the only way you can get into game shape is by playing. Running and working out doesn't do it.
You have to play basketball.
Less than 2 minutes to go now as the Bulls go low to Artis Gilmore. Up to Benson, body blocking him, doesn't give him a good shot. Here comes Milwaukee. Good defense by Kent Benson. Buckner now controlling the ball, controlling the clock. Brian Winters ready to gun. Down.
Beautiful play, Don. That's a beautiful play the Bucks run. It's a second option where Benson goes away from the ball, sets a screen for Brian Winters, and he can shoot.
Gilmore again. Benson's doing a great job with his body. Can't get up as high as Gilmore can, but he's moving quickly, getting in the way of the side that Gilmore wants to move to hook the ball. Gilmore consequently is not getting the full flow of motion. Timing is off. He's missing the shot. 1:05 to go as Benson fires to Ristani, and here's Marques Johnson. Not quite enough there. Working hard for the ball. Quinn Buckner and Wilbur Holland, they'll jump it up.
Marques Johnson really upset. He had a wide open shot. The Bucks moved it around very nicely. Here it is right here. And, of course, he's made a number of them from that area today. And he comes in after it. Buckner and Johnson both with jump ball.
While we have a chance, I'd like to thank our producer, Bill Barnes, our director, John McDonough, our associate director, Chris Erskine, another distinguished man from WBBM, Nick Rivas with us, as well as our real good stats man, Mr. Dan Duran. Here is a steal by Wilbur Holland heading to the basket. In he goes. The time is of the essence now for the Chicago Bulls. 45 seconds left to play. 43 seconds left to go. Milwaukee holding to a 6-point lead, and above all, they have the basketball. Not anymore. Mickey Johnson throws to Theus. Off to Ollie Johnson.
Wow.
Going to get nervous down the stretch here, John.
I was just about to say plenty of time, and the Bulls doing just what we talked about, Don, making the Bucks turn the ball over, and the Bucks have had problems all year hanging on to leads.
Well, all of a sudden, their lead has dried up. It's just 4 points now. They will have the ball when they come back to action. 4-point advantage, and as you see, that is the game clock. 32 seconds to play.
Which means with 24 on the shot clock, the Bucks must take a shot. That will leave time, of course, for the Bulls to get at least one shot up, even if they don't turn the ball over in the interim.
A good quarterback does his homework on and off the field. That's probably why the three of us are all drinking light beer from Miller.
See, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
Plus, it tastes great. And you know it's important to have a command of facts like that.
It's mental discipline, really.
You're darn right. Because if you know every position, every option, every formation, you'll never get your signals crossed.
Hey, that's my beer, Terry.
Oh, no, this
is...
No, wait.
Well,
wait a minute.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Peel my label.
We love baseball, dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
You sure are getting behind Chevy's new midsize Malibu, America. And why not? It's got the right mileage estimates, the right size, the right feel, the right look, and the right room. And for a lot of folks, it's got the right name, too. Chevy Malibu. The 79 Chevy Malibu could be just right for you.
A precious slice of apple pie from Chevy Malibu.
That's Coach Costello and his notepad, John.
Well, obviously he's trying to tell his team what to do, and I really can't be sure if he's talking about the Bucks or the Bulls, but I assume he's trying to show the Bulls what play to run once they get the ball back, and it looks like they want to try to clear out the side if they can and get the ball over to Gilmore, so he'll have a lot of room to work.
So now as we come into the last half minute of regulation with the Milwaukee Bucks leading by 4 points in the game for Milwaukee, Ernie Grunfeld, Lloyd Walton, Marques Johnson, Brian Winters, and Kevin Rastani is ready to put the ball in play. Ollie Johnson, Mickey Johnson, Reggie Theus, Scott Walton, all in the game along with Wilbur Holland for Chicago. 24 seconds. Here's a foul call against Ollie Johnson. He had to do it.
Well, the Bulls doing what they have to do, Don. They've got to double up. They've got to make the Bucks turn the ball over. And, of course, they played the out of bounds differently than a lot of teams. There's two different theories. Some teams will put a big man up on the man taking the ball out of bounds. Other teams, like the Bulls just did, they will take that player who happened to be Mickey Johnson and put him inbounds to try to play whoever comes toward the ball. But, of course, the Bucks got it in.
54.
Lloyd Walton heads to the free throw line for the Milwaukee Bucks. Put the top on it for the Bucks if he drills him. Penalty shot in effect for Milwaukee's foul shooters. Still a ball game, 27 seconds to go. Milwaukee is only 11 of 19 from the free throw line. Gilmore has the ball, and quickly the Chicago Bulls call a timeout. John?
Well, that's smart by the Bulls. They were saying, of course, if he either makes it or misses it, let's call timeout right away. Decide what we're going to do. Get the ball at midcourt. Now, 26 seconds to go. The Bulls will get it at midcourt. They will get a shot up right away and then go inline to inline pressure.
Many strange things happen in 30 seconds in an NBA game.
Oh, many. And,
like somebody runs off 8 points.
That's right. And it can have, don't ever walk away from an NBA game. They can score points very quickly.
Yeah, and we remind you again that next Sunday, regional basketball on CBS, the 76ers and the Celtics meet at Boston. The Chicago Bulls play the Cleveland Cavaliers at Richfield, Ohio. That's at 12 noon next Sunday, Eastern Time. 26 seconds left to play, and now as we look live at Larry Costello, pretty tough to pick it up. Before he was setting like 3 men to one side, he was going to break off it. Both these teams, it's a stress defense now. They just collapse down low around the ball. If you get the free shot, you're going to have to pump from way out.
Well, obviously, Larry now is talking offense. I couldn't be sure before. And I would think, of course, he wants to go to Gilmore. The Bucks have to be aware of that, but the Bucks have to play people fairly honest also. But Gilmore at least is going to get you a good percentage shot. So therefore, he'll want to go to them. If they do score, the Bucks will call timeout right away, I'm sure, so that they will get the ball at midcourt and out from underneath the Bulls' basket. The Bulls with 1 timeout remaining, the Bucks with 2.
Chicago inbounding the ball, trailing by 4 with 26 seconds to play. To Theus, they'll be firing quickly. Theus quickly to Wilbur Holland. He's been hot in the second half. Tapped up and good. It's a 2-point game with 19 seconds to go. Inbounds it goes to Marques Johnson. Starts to break to the basket. Down low to Benson. Cross court to Winters. 12 seconds. You see the game clock winding down, and Milwaukee, a pro version of 4-corner, and a foul by Ollie Johnson. Just in time, 6 seconds to play. Actually, giving fouls, John, is not a bad idea because nobody shot for any impressive total.
Well, I think the Bulls did a tremendous job then. Of course, getting inside to tip the ball in. The Bucks did not call timeout like I thought. Don Nelson likes to get it in and take a fast break if you have it. Now, the Bulls really fouled the right person, and Larry Costello was up yelling as soon as Buckner caught the ball to foul Buckner because he knows that Buckner has had some problems at the line this season and in the past. He's also had some problems, shooting from the field. But with Buckner shooting from the line on the season, he's only shooting 59% from the free throw line. And in this game, that's pretty much how everyone's shooting, isn't it?
He's been the best free throw shooter today, percentage-wise. He's hit 3 of 4. Here's Brian Winters going to the line, putting it up and down. Deliberate foul. Your own team picks the shooter.
Right. Therefore, the technical. Boy, the Bulls coach is up on that one.
102 to 99 now. 3 seconds left to play, and another timeout is signaled for. There's a final score in from Boston Garden. The New Jersey Nets beating the Celtics 110 to 100. So with just 6 seconds left to play, it's Milwaukee leading by 3 points, seemingly insurmountable, but you don't know. You just don't know. You got to play it right out to the final horn. Milwaukee was in command throughout the game before. At the outset, it switched back and forth the lead. Then Milwaukee took command, led at the end of the first quarter by 2 points, led at the end of the half by 11. Chicago cut the lead to 6 at the end of 3 quarters, trailed by 11, and then rallied back into the game, came back to within 2. And now it's 3 points with just 6 seconds to play.
What happened on that, Don, is that the officials ruled that an off-ball foul, and it is not a technical, but it is treated as a technical. That is why Brian Winters went to the free throw line to shoot that.
The new change in the rules this year, you pick your own shooter. That's so they won't, of course, be following the...
It's a good rule.
Oh, yeah.
I recall in the past when you played against Chamberlain's teams,
right,
the ball would be away from him in a situation like this, and there would be 5 guys over hitting Chamberlain, and, of course, they'd call it and put him on the line.
Don't forget, the Grand Prix Tennis Championship match is coming up live next from Madison Square Garden with John McEnroe, the 19-year-old U.S. Davis Cup hero who's at the absolute top of his game. He dispatched Connors defaulted, but was being beaten soundly when he did. And he'll be going against the veteran Arthur Ashe for the championship. Pat Summerall and Tony Traber standing by at Madison Square Garden. Here at Milwaukee, this is Don Criqui with John McLaughlin, 102-99. Milwaukee with the 3-point lead and the ball, and just 6 seconds to go. Into Marques Johnson, and he is quickly and deliberately fouled by Ollie Johnson with 5 seconds to play. So Marques Johnson, who gets my vote, but is the Chevrolet most valuable player of the game, John.
No doubt. I agree.
You go with it? All right. $1,000 then from Chevrolet to the General Scholarship Fund of UCLA. As Marques Johnson, a starting NBA All-Star in the upcoming game at Pontiac, Michigan on February 4th, goes to the free throw line looking for his 33rd and 34th point if he gets the penalty.
Marques Johnson, 2 shots.
This is quite a young man here. He's a very, very nice person, as well as obviously a great basketball player. He's interested in communications. He wants to be in the radio and television someday, Don.
All right.
He might be another Don Criqui someday.
Yeah, could be a lot more. Wilbur Holland guns. Whoop, didn't go. The horn sounds, and so the Milwaukee Bucks hold on to win after Chicago made it very nervous. The final score, the Milwaukee Bucks led by Marques Johnson defeating the Chicago Bulls 104 to 99. So the Bucks working hard to stay in playoff contention, beat an important opponent from the Midwest Division, the Chicago Bulls. These guys are running neck and neck.
And they go at it every game, and we talked about that, Don. This has been a good game. I really credit the Bulls. I think they did a super job with Gilmore out early. The bench came in. They kept them in the game. Gilmore came back and, of course, closed the gap. It was a good one.
All right, John, we thank you for your good work here today at Milwaukee's Mecca as the Milwaukee Bucks are the victor, 104 to 99. This is Don Criqui reporting from courtside. We thank these people for their good work also. And now we're going to be heading to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson for the conclusion of the Knicks-Kansas City game.
And welcome. Those of you who have been watching the Bucks and the Bulls in the white, the Kings have been doing it all. Burleson on the miss. It's 124-102. The Kings over the New York Knicks. Here's McAdoo. The Knicks are without Webster today. He's in civilian clothes because of an injured knee. Glenn Gondrzek did not make the trip. And we've also had some contact. Tommy Burleson and Bob McAdoo squared off, and Coach Red Holzman stepped out and chose Burleson, but was pushed back by referee John Madden. Nothing serious here that has broken out, but the Kings are a much improved team. That's why they lead Milwaukee and Chicago.
We should also mention very quickly that New York, even though there's a wide margin in this score, has actually played a lot better than we saw them on Christmas Day.
Our Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award goes to Phil Ford. And so the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship is going to be awarded to North Carolina on behalf of Phil Ford, who showed us moves that we haven't seen in the NBA. It was 124-104. It was Kansas City over the New York Knicks. For Keith Erickson, I'm Brent Musburger. Have a nice week, everybody. And right after this action, we're going to send you to Madison Square Garden, for John McEnroe is going to be taking on Arthur Ashe. Ray Williams of the Knicks is limping off, not seriously hurt. And the NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports. Enjoy the tennis, everybody.